stuff. Bring it straight into the good stuff.
Oh, baby.
All right.
Link, my friends, the link.
Should I get the chat open then for this one, or I specifically avoid listening to the chat just in case.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oops.
I'll pop out the chat just in case. Oh, Glenn made a face. That's funny. When I paused. Glenn, you look well groomed today. I like it.
Thank you.
I'm a
It's
bit
the
wild.
padded elbows on my sweater.
I was talking about your beard, but okay, yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's just finally getting longer again.
Yes, it's the padded elbows that I can't see on screen that makes you well okay, motherfucker.
It's part of the mentality, you know. Padded elbows make the man.
Guys, I'm almost 30.
Oh, that's right.
You're
I
supposed
forgot.
to sip it.
I forgot that stuff tastes like dog shit.
Sip, sip,
Liquid dog
sip,
shit,
sip, 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 sip.
What's that?
Liquid duck shit. Mm.
Tastes like something Magdor
Alcohol
would make
making.
me drink. Okay. I'm ready if you guys are.
I'm always ready.
Let's do it.
I see what's happening, yeah. You're face to face with greatness. And it's strange.
You don't even know. It's adorable.
That humans never change?
It's nice to see that humans never change. Open your eyes, let's begin. Yes, it's really me, it's Magdor.
Maui.
Breathe it in. Alright.
The beard. The bod.
The beer.
The beer? All right. Get your dice ready, because we're back to another session of Casual Quest Masters. Welcome to our own Faerun, everybody. Representing Neverwinter, as per the usual, is Nikhil Chorimala.
Help me.
Nick, where are you? I heard you. I thought I heard you this time. Nope. Shit, he's still gone. Nothing. Brandon Thresher.
A Magdor Bandon, and like they used to tell us in the churches, they are daily beard.
Oh my god.
So,
That is amazing.
So for the audio listeners at home, Brandon and I made a deal that if I bought him a crocheted woven beard and helmet combo, he would wear it to the podcast. Not only that, he would actually lower the camera so we can actually, well, technically his face is still equally covered, I'd like to think, thanks to this beautiful beard.
Little lips.
But it looks luxurious, and it's fucking
amazing.
beautiful. And yours
Oh,
truly,
yes.
Tyler Vitito as Nox, the changeling who's afraid their Goliath friend is hurt, but got hit by the nasty sausage squirts. And last but certainly not least is our all-powerful Dungeon Master, Glenn Houston. How you doing, Glenn? I love seeing how upsetting.
Sausage squirts.
I didn't think you were actually going to say it. I was like, man, how far can I upset Glenn before he says, no, Tyler, do it over.
I'm unbelievably impressed by your ability to. I was like, there's no way he's going to make this rhyme. No way. There's too much. The cadence is too complicated, and you just pulled it out in the best way possible. That was amazing.
Magnor's beards is sleek and wavy, but I got hit by the sausage gravy. But yes. It's like a roses is red. Magnor's beard is wavy. Oh shit, where's the chamber pot? I got hit by the gravy. See you guys on Valentine's Day. Oh
Oh
man.
my god, I bet your wife is so happy on Valentine's Day with those rhymes.
Oh. Man, I'm spitting fire over here. Might as well be a dragonborn. So let's roll. See who gets to recap the last episode.
Wait, we didn't
of...
even introduce Glenn. Who the fuck is that?
That
Oh,
was
I
me
tried.
just- my introduction. Yeah, I was laughing. That was my
Yeah, I gotta
introduction.
say,
All right.
yeah, Glenn. He's a guy. He's great.
Do you have to? Are you having to do a duck face a little bit just to make sure your lips stay?
No. Yes. I gotta push them just enough, because then
Just a little
if
bit.
I don't, then it kind of falls over my mouth and it muffles my audio.
You need like the Velcro in it. Do what I did
I
for
tried-
Halloween and just Gorilla Glue it to your upper lip. That should fix
Oh,
everything.
that's a great
Totally.
idea. I tried double-sided tape, but it just wasn't working for me.
Ah. So I
Did
rolled
you
an
know,
18.
I think it's called spirit gum. Is they use it in theater to put
Yeah.
on fake beards. You might be able to pull that off because I know that it's a little bit of a pain.
Have you
in the
ever peeled
butt,
that
but
off though? You might as well
Yeah,
just use
it's-
super glue.
Then you could also get mic tape, like the stuff that they use
Yeah.
to tape. Like
I have some
uh,
gaffer's tape
lav mics.
somewhere, but I don't know where it's at.
Gaffer's tape on your face. Woo!
Yeah.
That would be great.
I rolled
I
an
was-
11.
I was about to
Oh.
shout Brandon to grow a beard, but genetics have screwed you over royally in that kind of front, so I respect that. My poor baby boy with his his monk baloney patch on his chin.
I have an anti-soul patch.
You're like a Death
But
Eater.
anyway,
Or it's not a
rolled
Death
an
Eater.
11.
He rolled an 11. I rolled an 18. I know what happens. I get to do the recap. After getting 2 20s in a row, I've lost my ultimate power, and now I got to do the previously on Casual Quest Masters with it was supposed to be Brandon's turn, but I guess Magdor did it instead. So get ready for this, Glenn.
Oh.
Yes. Previously on Casual Quest Masters, Magdor doesn't want to give up Scroll. Team passes on chasing their target, Sibson, to find Vol. Team goes back to hotel. Wow, there's a lot of missing punctuation and other parts of grammar. Nox is now Magdor. Or is Magdor Nox? Who knows? Nox tries to open Magdor's package. Ooh, to only minor success. Nox tries to open Raven Queen's package. To much success. Oh shit, where is my body? JPG? What the? Magdor wakes up. Nox lights shit up and makes Magdor panic. Don't let the light out. JPG. I can't. Can't you just do JPEG? Come on. What is this?
It's
The
JPEG.
90s? Oh, whatever. PNG. Come on. Magdor finds out that this weird guy Albus or something can open his scroll. Team finds Albus Dumbledore himself, and he helps him get the first word of the scroll. Now he needs to do tasks to unlock the rest. Party decides to go save Vol now, I think. Great. S+ script. I like it. Styling. Man,
I had
you
to get
style-
a character a little early.
There's a Magdor recap, like a super simple outline.
Oh, wouldn't it have been so nice if Magdor did that instead?
You know,
It's
either
okay.
way, it's fine.
It's
I
okay.
feel like you did a good job.
Thank you. Does that mean I get the inspiration?
Yeah.
I'll
every
drink
time
to
you
that,
do the recap,
buddy.
You get the inspiration point. So I technically should have given myself
Yep.
inspiration. But it's been a long rest, so I lost it.
Inspiration
You said you
comes with.
You said you can give inspiration points away, right?
Yep.
As Brandon strokes his woven beard on camera for trying to
No,
be
that's just habit at
inspiring
this
on
point.
his character. Glenn's like,
It's become habit. I couldn't have a beard like this. I'd be playing with it all the time.
I was about to say, spending money does not get you inspiration, even though that's exactly how we got inspiration last time.
Well, the reason why I asked is I have an inspiration point from earlier,
Okay.
Do you?
from
Okay.
like, sessions ago, because we haven't
Oh yeah,
had a long rest yet.
yeah, they only reset on long rests, not between.
So I'm
sessions.
gonna give my inspiration point to Tyler, which I believe puts him at 3.
That's true, because I gave the gold coin, which gave me a first inspiration. I got one for the recap, and that puts me at 3. Cool. Brandon, you understand I'm a spellcaster, right? You know how detrimental this is?
But
Unless,
I also know you said when you get an inspiration point, you're gonna drink.
okay, fine. Oh,
And don't forget,
yeah.
when you have 3 inspiration points, you can turn them in combat for an extra action.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about being a spellcaster, because since I can't really cast 2-level spells in one turn unless you'll say that negates that rule.
Oh, you could just cast 2 cantrips.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you could do a leveled spell and a cantrip.
I just feel like I'd rather have Magdor have it at this point, because I think he could use it a lot more efficiently. Because me and shooting spells, either I do, obliterate them from the planet themselves, Vegeta, or it just goes by and it's like, oh yeah, that was a 2. So,
Well,
anyways,
it's up to you.
also just a forewarning to anybody that's listening to the podcast or live right now. This is the first time where I actually don't have to go to work right afterwards, so this is going to be the one-time episode where I'm allowed to drink during the show. So, Nox, that little ale he drank earlier last episode, starting to hit him a little bit. That's weird. I wonder what's going to happen. Oh well, let's try not to think about it, right? Right.
Yeah. Right.
So are you giving me the inspiration or not?
I was going to say no. Yeah, go ahead and you can have the inspiration. For that majestic beard, I'm going to give... Does Magdor on a usual just constantly stroke his beard like, man, this is really magnificent. Wow, that thing hangs low. It looks like a mop that they just attached to a woven helmet.
There we go. We'll have it right here the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's
so
just your mouth and beard.
this is Santa in his heyday.
It's the opposite now.
Oh jeez. Okay, Glenn, set the scene.
You guys are doing your who are you? Who? Headed to
I really wanna know.
Because if we can recall from last time, you found out from the woman at the fighting pits that the actually it's called the Prisoners Carnival, I believe. That there was that Clearlight is known as Clearlight because it's one of the few places with a window that actually is there.
Right.
It's a stained glass window that is in an old church, former Church of Timora, that is now
Wait, former?
used as... Yeah, they don't actually like hold services or like have an active shrine. They just have a group of people there who claim Timora as their deity, and it's like closed off now. But they use it as a base of operations to like do community outreach and like make soup kitchens, but it's a bit of a fortress in that they don't let people in unless they're part of the group that runs from that area.
That's... If I was a paladin, my smite senses would start tingling at that. Like, yeah, we're good. It's a fortress.
I mean, it's a bit of a fortress in that it is like a really solid building, and they don't allow non-members in, basically.
Yeah, we don't know
walk
that.
in.
We'll be fine. We'll just walk in, talk to the receptionist, go up the elevator, straight to the boss. It'll be fine. There's a soup kitchen.
Walking there now?
Yeah, you guys are doing your little dope hero walk, going to save Vol headed there. It's on the northern shore of the South Bank. So you're headed there. It'd probably be about 2 or 3 minutes of walking, not very long. So you guys can do anything else you want to, unless there's any other diversions you want to take.
Magdor, this is probably going to be the last chance we get to do anything we want to before we storm the gates. I mean, we haven't exhausted all our options yet. We could try some weird stuff.
What do you mean by weird?
Well, first off, it's kind of weird that you've been standing outside in this cold without your cloak. This is ridiculous. You are freezing. And I like snap an icicle off his nose, and it's like, got a cloak from Algira.
Oh, Alga's cloak. That's right. Let me see if I got it here. And I'm just gonna pull it out of a pocket, a whole cloak.
You pull the whole cloak out of your okay, yeah.
You know what they say about dwarves? Big pockets.
Big sockets?
So I'm gonna put on this cloak.
Big
What
dockets.
what
Do
did
you
you
have
say
lots
it
of-
did again? I don't remember. I wasn't really paying attention.
You gotta say the magic word, and it'll turn it into whatever you want it to look like. And I'll whisper the word Alohomora and see if it works for him.
Alohomora. And nothing
It's-
happened.
Is a cloak.
Well, you're fucked. Okay. Anyways.
For me to figure out what my word is, what would I need to do?
I mean, do you just look in the cloak? What are you doing to try and figure that out?
Yeah, like I pull back the stitching and it shows like a little lapel on the side or something like that has like a dummy's guide to activating cloak.
Yeah, I'll like lift it up and kind of look into it. Be like,
Yeah, there's a little
Hmm.
patch with an embroidered word on it.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up and kind of look at it.
It just says rutabaga in common.
What's this word say?
Eggplant. No. Sorry, I got my Elvish wrong. It's in common. Rutabaga. Is that some kind of horse cart brand?
What the fuck is a rutabaga?
I don't know what the
And then I guess upon
You-
saying that, it's just gonna turn into
Well, as soon
leather.
as you say that wearing it, you immediately understand that you could choose what it looks like
Oh,
in your
okay.
own mind.
So I'm gonna say, what the hell
but-
is a rutabaga? And then
And
Oh.
it won't change until you have a specific idea that you send it, basically.
all right, I'm going to look at so this can go into, you said that our cloaks were our armor class, right?
Yes.
But I can make it look like any armor class.
You can make it look like anything that is not larger. So it can look like, if it's like leather armor, you can make it look like +3 studded leather armor,
make it into a
okay,
nice
but-
looking t-shirt if you wanted to,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
when they
anything
clang
that's
against it,
its
it's like
size or
bam,
less.
chainmail.
All right, so I'm gonna get
Yeah,
this
you can
vision in
make-
my head.
Like
I'm
plate
gonna think
armor,
about
but-
it. I'm gonna go rutabaga, and I'm gonna look exactly in the same outfit as Nox. Be like, now who's Nox now?
I look at Magdor partially offended, partially impressed that he was able to mentally send the design properly to his armor to fit it almost pristinely. It's like, look, Magdor, this it's kind of like the Power Rangers thing where you got to pick a different color. I mean, purple's my thing. It doesn't look that good. I mean, it's meant for royalty. Aren't you more like a ship brown or something?
What?
What? Pick a different color. I got purple covered.
You want me to be? I'm not gonna be brown. So I'm gonna go rutabaga, and it's gonna be just this shining golden armor. I'll
Okay.
show you shit brown. Scale
Now,
now.
the one thing that I will say is that it does basically give advantage on deception checks, but if somebody touches it, they will know that it's not metal.
Those gold
Just so
scale
you know.
mail.
So
Yeah.
it looks like gold scale mail, but if anybody touches it, or if they try to make a check, you'll have advantage on the deception check because of the armor. But if they touch it, it's just like any other illusion. It is immediately known as not what it is. So
I
just so
get
you're
on.
aware, I didn't want to make sure that there's nothing in the future that causes problems with.
I get
Yeah,
on
it
a
looks just
single
like you imagine.
knee, arms and shoulder, and it's like, Magdor, we're about to embark on potentially what could be considered a stealth mission, and you look like Gilgamesh from Fate Stay Nights, and every person here that's starved for money is going to see you in golden armor. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
you guys are walking down the street, so as you turn to him and say this, you've changed your armor openly, visibly in the middle of the streets twice now, and people are starting to murmur and walk further away from you, and so you could imagine probably 15 to 20 people have seen you do this at this point with your armor or with your cloak.
Magdor, just do what they do on RuneScape and just be a level 126 with bronze armor on or something.
I've got an idea. I don't get
Great.
any of those.
Yeah, no,
what
don't
about-
hurt yourself.
What about this? And I'm gonna rutabaga, and
Just that one fucking word, it just triggers me, man.
And so my armor is now going to look like the guard's armor who handed me the coin.
Yeah, and several of the guards now have seen you do this multiple times and they start to
Oh,
approach
shit.
you. They're going to be there in like 15, 20 seconds. They're walking down
But
the street towards you from the direction that you were going.
Magdor, feed me. Oh crap! I don't have any sausage. I don't look pregnant. Shit! This isn't gonna work a second time.
Oi, brothers! I'm going to call out.
I'm going to walk at least 20 feet away in a hurried shuffle because I don't want any of that shit in my fan.
Yeah, they're not. They kind of look at you. See, like you see them cursorily watch you walk away, but they're not focused on you at all. So you're definitely not in their frame of reference when they get close. And they come up and they're both like humans. One of them's older. One of them's probably in his early 20s, late teens. And the older one says, "What's all this thing?"
I was, I guess, recruited to your cause.
And he like set like with his offhand that's not holding his spear, he knocks on your shoulder, and it doesn't sound like metal. He says, "That's not city guard armor. What are you playing at?"
Do you remember me?
Of course not. There's like
I'm
50 of us. I know every single guard in the city. I've been in the watch for 20 years.
I'm the
I'm-
victor of the prisoners' carnival.
Okay. And that gives you the right to wear armor for what?
For this right, and I'm gonna pull out the coin of
Tamora?
Abora?
Timora. Thank you. I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna shake his hand with the coin, or grab his hand and shake it with the coin and leave it.
And he like shakes your hand questioningly, and then like as you pull your hand away, he pulls his away and looks down, and then he looks back at you a few times, and then he goes, "Ah."
I'm gonna be
And
studying
he
this
pockets
person's
it
face.
and just goes, "I'm not sure if you understand. You think because the coin spinners have your back that we'd be afraid of you?
No, I just thought it'd help me out.
With me, how? With the city guard, how?
Is the city guard not loyal to her?
No.
Oh. Well, in that case, can I ask for some help?
Yeah, I'm
Where'd
gonna
you
start
get this?
moonwalking back towards this guard. Hearing this conversation, yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm moonwalking back into the place. I'm gonna be right next to the guard, and it's like,
Let's see how well you moonwalk.
okay, yeah. Nox is gonna give the performance check of his or their life, and we are going to get a 9. So it's more like a
still- It's a
It's-
sufficient moonwalk.
like it looks
Round
impressive at
ten is-
first sight, but Jackson 5 wouldn't be impressed, but it's average, a little below average.
The average man on the street is like, "Wow, that guy can moonwalk."
Yeah,
and
small
like-
children are like, the way these lifting the heel just seems kind of iffy, but I get in. I kind of lean on maybe not lean on the guard because I know the guard's probably a little tense right now, and goes, "Look, my friend is trying something a little bit silly right now, and we are trying to get some help to deal with the person that handed us that coin. And he, bless my little dwarf friend here, thinks that everybody that wears this uniform is a part of that group, and it's
Are you saying you got this coin from one of ours?
yes."
And he like whispers over quietly with his hand up to the other guard, and the younger guard leaves, and he says, "So I'd like you to tell me about who gave you this coin."
He had armor like this.
And he pulls you off to the side of the street, and he actually like steps into a side alley a little bit, so you're out of earshot of like everyone in the streets. And he stands with his back. If you guys will allow it, he puts you in and with his back facing out, so that he kind of like blocks people off, and he kind of like tells them to move on and stuff. Unless you would be uncomfortable with that.
No, I mean, I'd be going along with Magdor because I don't want him to get arrested again. Funny as it is.
And you're good. And he says, "So you were the dwarf that killed that big old Duragar, yeah?
That was a bloody hell good fight, wasn't it?
Heard you exploded his balls."
And that's not the only thing that exploded. I'm gonna hold up my arm and show the battle axe just chilling out there.
Your arm turned into an axe.
Well, no, my arm exploded and I shoved an axe in there.
It's
Ah,
an axe now?
that's metal.
Oh wait, no, this is an axe. This is a warhammer.
He makes it
That's
very
metal.
blunt suddenly, and it's now a warhammer.
So, you got arrested. Strike one.
Yeah,
You killed the Duragar. Good job. Got
Yeah.
let go. The next thing you're doing is trying to impersonate a guard and telling me that one of my men gave you a coin of the coin spinners.
Well, he didn't
Why
say
would
he
you
was
do
the
that?
not the brightest dwarf. He's
what's a coin spinner?
Coin spinners are a group of people in the town that make base inside of Clearlight. They
Right,
help
that's-
people, but
that's-
they're not always good.
That's where we're going.
where
Why?
we hope we'd be going, considering that one of our team members got kidnapped for something that they think is worth money. Of all
You're not
things.
from town then. You're from outside.
Yes.
How long you been here?
A majestic 2 days.
We are learning very quickly about Luskin if your friend has already been taken. So
Yes,
your
we
friend
got
was
the
taken by
VIP.
somebody- You presume that it was the coin spinners, and you mean to confront them?
Yeah, when I won the contest, a guard came up to me and said, "Good job," and shook my hand. And then when he let go, it was the coin, like what I did with you.
He said to
That's
meet
troublesome.
him at Clearlight specifically. Do these
See, the problem
coins
with the what's that?
do these coin spinners have a lot of people that are adept with magic?
Just as much as any organized group. They do tend to employ street urchins and things like that more than magic users, but I'm sure they have some. They are one of those odd groups where the guard can't really say, get out because they do help the poor, but there's rumors of them, running it as a front for racketeering and protection. So they may be up to more nefarious things, but it's difficult to tell as we don't have anybody on the inside. But apparently, they have someone on our inside. So
Magdar's gonna audibly gasp. Like,
yeah,
we can impregnate that bitch for you.
I kick Magdor.
and at that point, when you kick him, like the kid comes back running and he says, "Sir, they're waiting for you." And he says, "Come with me if you would."
Where are we going?
Somewhere safe.
Do I get to keep my hand?
Of course.
All right, let's
The
go.
one you have left.
Yes,
I-
can't get the other one back, can I?
My character would feel odd about this. Would you be okay if I rolled an insight on this statement?
Yeah, you're trying to figure out what are you attempting, just for me as the DM, what are you attempting to determine with this insight check?
He says he's going to be taking us somewhere safe. And so far, everything he said has rung to be what feels like it's true. But when he says that, it just feels like a sudden change in conversation that would pique my paranoia.
Okay, absolutely. Go for it.
Well, I rolled a 7, so you tell me how, evil scoundrel he is.
Based on what he said and the way he said it, you could probably assume the reason why the change in tone came is because the kid came back, and so he was, notified of something different. So you don't think that it has anything to do with anything bad that wouldn't make you safe. So your safety doesn't seem to be at risk, but you're not sure how honest his overall intentions are because you are paranoid. So that's absolutely up to you to continue to delve into. But he doesn't seem to be taking you someplace where you're going to be in danger.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Wait. Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
Am I gonna have to fight a Durgar again?
Nah, the only one here is dead.
Yeah, that was me.
Yes.
That was
All right,
him.
all right.
So off we go.
Uh,
All right, and so then from that point on, you step out of this kind of like little niche alleyway that is mostly a dead end. It doesn't go through. It was just kind of a place for him to step off to the side with you and talk outside of the public ear. But he begins to lead you back the direction you came towards the gate to the south where you had previously entered the city 2 days ago. You go past the prisoners' carnival or whatever it is. I think that's the name. And then eventually you get back to the gatehouse, and to the side it looks like they have a larger size kind of barrack slash guard shack there attached to the gate on the inside of the wall. And you at some point during this kind of walk too, they've stood, one the veteran effectively behind you and the younger guy in front. And they seem to be kind of looking out, keeping their eyes open. And eventually, you're joined by about 8 other guards who continue to escort you to this point. At that point, there is somebody at the door, and they open it up, and he says, "Please."
uh, Knox.
Magdor, you did put us in this predicament, so take a little responsibility for your actions and listen to them.
All right, I'm gonna walk in first.
All right.
Like
Look
I'm
around.
I'm eyes rolling. Like I'm looking for like best way to get the hell out of here if things go south. But I'm being obedient.
Sure.
I think Nox has like that situation, kind of like me, since it's my character, where I am very obedient with the cops, and so
Compliance. Yep.
very compliant until something is evidently fishy. Yeah, at that point, then it's like, yeah, I gotta go, get the milk with the father of my child.
So you follow
Nice.
in though.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I'm gonna send or tell Krosov telepathically to perch on top of the guard shack and
Okay.
to let
So
me
as
know
you
if
enter, and he sits on top. He says, "That your bird?"
I.
I assume it was like on your shoulder initially, right? It was just chilling with you. Okay. And he says, "Yeah," and you say, "Yeah."
Yeah, well, I mean, I could be sarcastic, but I don't want him to shoot it, so yes.
And he says, "Good, good. Messenger crows are very useful. Very, very useful purchase." And he, follows you in.
I'm gonna look over at
And
Knox. You bought that? Can I buy one?
Sure. How much do you have?
How much do you have? I'm pretty sure I heard that you bet on me. I think some of that's my fair share too, huh?
And I cast message, shut the fuck up, Magdor. These are the Popo.
I whispered it. It's fine.
We'll talk about it later. You get to do interrogation with a up to 24 hours hold. So good luck.
yeah, and so there is like a front entrance room, basically. It's not a giant building built onto the side, but it does have like probably a 10 by 15 area that's out front, kind of the equivalent of like a waiting room, effectively. There is somebody there that looks like they're kind of a registrar, somebody that takes the books, keeps track of messages, effectively a medieval secretary. Um, and there's some seats out front, and then the veteran, the older guard says, uh, "If you would wait here, please, we're going to have a little chat with your dwarven friend."
I asked this as a player to DM. Is there a holding cell?
Um, you don't see any. It's all wood here. There's several windows that lead out into, so you can see into where people are kind of coming into the city and then back out into the streets. But there's no visible holding cell in this space.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I will take a seat and kick back for a second while I plot my escape as well as other nefarious plans. I look at Magdor and
Other
say,
debauchery.
things I will not detail as a player until they are activated.
Great, yeah. And he, do you just kind of follow the guards in, Magdor, or do you?
Yeah,
Do you like?
yeah.
Okay, cool. There's another door off to the side that goes back behind that space where they have to like fill out information and keep the books and ledgers and all that jazz. And you get brought into what looks like a jail. There is probably 5 different uh, like cells, but only one of them has anybody in it, and it looks like a drunk noble is just inside and mostly and like probably passed out. There's a desk, and it looks like a jailer. It's just a really, really big guy. It looks probably like he's a half orc, but he's just been sitting behind a desk for a long time. And then there's another door that he leads you back to when he goes through here. And this room does not have windows, and there's a single table, very, very like it's in an interview room. And he goes in and sits down, and somebody shuts the door, and you hear it lock behind it. Um, and he says, "Can you please sit down?"
I'm gonna waddle over and climb into the seat.
Asking
So,
for a
and
friend. Is
yeah.
Magdor still in the soldier guard's outfit right now?
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
don't
Okay.
think I changed it.
he picks up a pitcher that was sitting there and pours a flagon of ale and pushes it to you and says, "First, I would appreciate if you stopped wearing my uniform.
What would you like me to wear?
Anything else?"
All right. Can you turn around while I change?
I've seen you change 3 times.
Oh,
2 times.
right.
Just go for it.
Okay. I'm going to imagine just a normal fur cloak,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna be like, "Oh, what's that? Rutabaga."
And he looks back and he's like, "That's a fancy trick. Fancy.
You didn't even know what I was doing.
Next time I see you wearing a guard's uniform, you'll spend more than one night in jail, though. You understand?"
I didn't even know, but yeah.
Impersonating a guard in any city when you're not is absolutely uncouth. You understand this? Come on.
I do. I didn't know you were guards. I thought you were all part of that.
You thought that the coin spinners ran the town?
I mean, have you not heard of corrupt towns before?
I have.
How do I know that this one's not corrupt?
Oh, this town's definitely corrupt, but the guards are one of the few places where we keep things clean.
I mean, you guys arrested me for trying to force feed a pregnant woman ale. What's wrong with that?
I wasn't the one that administered that arrest, but I would have if I saw you do that.
Yeah, that's probably right. But no, I don't.
Way out.
Huh?
You earned your way out, so
I did. I learned a few new tricks too.
That Duragar's been running around the streets way too much. The system doesn't always work, but more often than not, the ones who get in trouble aren't the ones who can defend themselves in the ring. So, good money to be made as well.
If he would have killed me, you would have released him as well, or instead,
Yes.
and then he just commits more crimes to go back in.
And yeah, there's certain crimes where you just don't get second chances, but he's smart enough not to do that.
Huh.
Murder
He, like, kicks
like
mailboxes. Public urination. The most hideous of American crimes.
He says you saw the guy out there in the jail cell, yeah?
He looked, yeah, he had one too many to drink.
Noble who has one too many to drink every day and constantly finds himself pissing out front of my building. So, he's constantly living in the jail cell, at least till he sleeps off the alcohol and becomes sober. Point is, though, let's get straight here. You were handed this coin, and he pulls that coin out of his pocket and he puts it on the table and just pushes it towards the middle, and he says, "By one of my guards. I need to know who it was."
He didn't leave me a name, but I might be able to recognize their helmets. How much does it cover for their helmets?
It's kind of like that kind of classic sort of, England one where it comes over the side and then the edges go up in small horns on the side, just like small horns that go back and then roll up like a mountain ram. And then there's a middle piece that comes down that it's like styled in the metal to look like a little icicle that goes down over their nose. So like you can still see their eyes and most of the features of their face. You just can't see anything outside of like that.
Okay.
which is just their
Maybe-
eyes, most of their nose, and their mouth. So most of their facial features are absolutely
So
available.
basically, what Brandon is wearing right now, plus maybe a little extra accent on the nose.
Yeah, a little accent on the ears and nose. Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
It's actually
Brandon
quite
is super
lovely.
fitting right now. Inspiration.
I might be able to pick
Oh yeah,
him
you get
out.
inspiration for wearing that beard hat. So anyway, what?
I might be able to pick him out if you gave me the option.
Well, just for the sake of the force, we actually for problems like this because it's not like we wear identification for you to just you have to be like the guy that's kind of old with a beard that's about this long with eyes that are this that's an old game that I didn't like very much. So we paid this traveling wizard to come through, and once a year he does this thing where he magically captures a moment in time of this person and puts it onto parchment so we have an exact likeness of what each guard looks like. So I have a folder, and he kind of reaches down, pulls it up, and opens it up and says, and you can see like a bunch of these different like parchments with like very, very detailed, recognitions of or likenesses of different guards. And he says, please, if you'd scroll through this and find the one that handed it to you, that would be quite helpful.
I'm gonna start scrolling through and look at it and oh, this looks like things I've seen before. I think I saw someone had this hung up on stairs.
Just to make
This-
sure I'm on the right page here, you have a wizard with a magical Nikon camera.
Oh
That
no,
goes-
it's like a cantrip that allows him to it's he just has a cantrip that is to take a picture.
Is this some of
God
Brandon's
bless
work?
D&D.
Yeah, but then one thing you do notice when you're looking at them, it's almost like it's like it's moving slightly on a loop. So the faces will just be there, and then they'll look around a little bit, and then they'll look back to where the source of this capturing is, and then it will kind of like reset. So it's
Is it-
equivalent for our own visual references as what the Harry Potter photos look like. It's like a little moment in time is frozen and put on that parchment.
I'm gonna look up at the garment. Is this some of Brandon's work?
No,
Oh,
I do know Brandon, but he hasn't been. I think he left probably about a 10-day ago. Normally he just sells
10-day?
odds and ends. About a 10-day, yeah.
oh, time's flown. So I'm gonna look through the book and can I like make a check to see
Mhm.
if I recognize one of them?
Absolutely a history check.
Debating if I want to use inspiration. No, I'll just do. Oh wait, I can't. Can I on checks?
Yeah.
Anytime you roll a d20, you can choose to give yourself inspiration if you have
Believe in
one.
yourself. You hear me
Oh,
shout, you can
inspiration.
do it, guide. No,
No inspiration.
Guy!
Let's go. We're
I
doing
bounce
this
guide
wrong.
off the door.
15.
15? Yeah, you go through it, and there's probably about 30 or 40, somewhere in that realm. Anything past 10 for Magdor is kind of the same number. So, sorry. I know you're not stupid, but you like to play on that you're not super intelligent. So, anyway,
To
you don't have
assume.
to count a lot. But you go through, and eventually you find a couple that you think are it, and you find two that look similar enough that some of their features seem to be about the same. Like they look similar enough. The height seems to be about right. The shape of the face. They both had kind of like scrabbly beards, as if they were either just starting to grow it or they can't grow a beard super well. One of them's a little patchy. The other one looks like it's scraggly. So one of them looks like he can't grow a beard, but they have the same length. Anyway, I need you to make one more history check between these two guys to determine whether and which one you actually think it is, or you can just
All right.
hand him one randomly.
I'm gonna do another history check.
Okay.
I got a 7.
Yeah, you pull you pull the one with the guy who looks like he can grow a beard. It's just in the early stages, not the scraggly one who's patchy. And you push that aside, and do you push it towards him, or do you hand it to him?
Oh, I'm gonna pick it up and. I think this is the guy. I'm gonna hand it to him.
And he says, "Really? Oh, that's disappointing." Well, I would ask, as this is an investigation that we're going to have to deal with for a while, where are you staying?
We're staying at the Seven Sails.
Seven Sails. Oh, deep pockets, huh?
Um, you know what they say about dwarves?
Pockets. Indeed. Uh, I will get a hold of them. And for the next 4 or 5 days, I would ask that you don't leave town unless we complete the investigation before then.
Well, all
But
right, but
we will pay for your stay. The city will fork up coin as we are asking you to stay. Is this agreeable?
that
I may
is
need to ask you more
agreeable.
questions.
But can I ask you a question first?
Sure.
Our friend is missing.
And this friend of yours, what does he look like?
he is with the coin bearers, whatever you called them.
He's a coin spinner.
No. He got kidnapped by them.
How do you know this?
Because
Do you have proof?
the guard came up and said, the guard in that picture that I handed you.
You should know how that is. Word of mouth doesn't count for conviction. I can't go to their place and say, this guy said you took his friend.
What
I
if
need
we just
proof.
borrowed? You need proof?
Yes.
Oh, I've got proof. And I'm gonna pull out my bag of holding.
Oh
and
no, the finger.
That guard gave us this finger. This is from our friend. This is our friend's finger.
And he gives you the finger. You give him the finger, and he says, "Okay, you can keep that. That
Thank you.
looks like maybe a human or an elven finger. What does your friend look like?" And he pulls out like a little book with a quill and ink, and he says,
Objection, Your Honor. This seems like it's metagaming.
Oh, I'm metagaming.
I'm
I was
I'm
like,
just having-
I don't feel like I'm metagaming.
It's
Can you give me a name instead
his
of
name. His name is Nightwalker.
His first name is Nightwalker.
That's all I know him as.
Nightwalker. And how long have you known him?
3 weeks.
It's about a little over 210 day, huh?
Yeah.
It's not long to call someone a friend.
Oh, we've been through a lot together. I'm sure you have.
I trust that. And now about his height, sort of basic build. Does he have any defining characteristics that we could find him by?
He's tall. He's very tall.
How tall do you think?
Taller than you.
I'm not that tall.
He's like what, 8
And he
foot?
stands up and he says, "I'm about 5'8".
Put me on top of you, and that's about how tall he is.
He's over 8 feet tall.
Probably about that, yeah.
8+ feet tall. So he must not be human then. How is that his finger?
He's a tall human.
And he says, "May I see the finger again?"
Okay. Let me.
I'm sorry, it's not connecting some of these lines. I just want to help you find your friend, but if you're going to be dishonest with me, there's open cells.
Okay,
Hello,
I'm sorry.
perjury.
Let me start over.
All right.
My friend gave me the finger.
Who gave you a severed finger?
It's complicated.
Well, I kind of need to know, since you're claiming your friend was taken by a predominantly peaceful group who tends to help the poor of our town. Legally, there's nothing I can go after them with if all you give me is a finger and tell me that your friend, whoever this person is, gave it to you. How that implies them, I'm not sure.
What's your opinion on Lord Neverwinter?
Never Ember?
Lord Neverember.
Well, people from Luskan are not fans. We're not at war anymore, but we're not really fans of Neverwinter. So Never Ember, he's all right.
What if I told
we
you?
were run by a coalition of former pirate captains who have all banded together and gone on the straight and narrow. So those are my bosses. They're honorable. They live by a code. Neverember lives for himself. He says he lives for his people, but I don't put much stock in that.
All right, well then forget about that. just I was just curious.
Good to know.
So I guess I'm sorry for lying. I'm not thinking straight. My friend's in trouble, and I was wondering, is there any way we could get some assistance in investigating the keep? Life light.
Clear
Only
light.
light. Clear light.
It is the only window left in town. There's other ones, but for a while it was the only one, so they called it Clear Light. It's whatever. Here's the thing, like I said, the coin spinners have been out on a kind of like naughty list for a while, but it's hard to pin down them because they don't do anything overtly illegal. They're not killing people, they're not extorting folks, they're paying people, they're paying back to the community, and any money they do get from work they do, they. So I know they do some shady stuff, but what it is, I don't know. It's really hard to investigate them, but if you give me some time to investigate, it'll probably take about 10 days, maybe less.
I don't
we'll
have
pay for
10
you-
days.
Why?
What if-
Something more pressing?
Yeah, he's
Has there
gonna
been-
be.
has there
He's
been a
gonna be
threat on
back
your
next
friend?
week. We don't have 10 days.
Has there been a threat on your friend's life?
There has actually. You mentioned extortion.
Yeah.
When I talked, or when the god handed me the coin, he said that I needed to turn in a scroll to him, or else my friend dies.
1 second. And he stands up and he grabs the file that you handed him and he opens the door and he says, "Oi!" And somebody comes up and takes it. And Knox, you see the person, one of the two guards that's standing out front, come in and
Wave.
take it. So you don't see this. Knox sees one side, Magador sees the other.
Uh,
He hands it to him and he says, "Go get him, bring him here." He says, "Sir," and then he goes off. And brings the file back and closes the door and slaps it down on the table and says, "So, your friend, this guard, handed you a coin
I
and told you that. Tell me exactly what he said, word for word, as much as you can remember."
Did I make a check for this? He came up and he said he congratulated me on the win, and then he said, "We have your friend. If you ever want to see him again, bring us the scroll."
Now, I am apparently delved into this very deep because you come to town. The next day you're here, if I'm on this timeline correct.
Yes.
Or was it the same day that you went to town?
Uh,
Because you will have been here for 2.
Well, we went to we came in at like 4 in the morning, or 4 candles in the morning, and
4th bell, yeah.
4th bell, and passed out. When we woke up, he was gone, and we thought
So
he
you-
had breakfast, so we went to breakfast. He wasn't there, and then we went to the stables, and he wasn't there.
And then you tried to force feed a woman alcohol, got arrested, fought in the streets,
Exactly.
got out, and now you're here on the second day.
But she wasn't pregnant. It was just sausage.
Okay, that's odd. But so in 2 days, you've managed to get the attention of the coin spinners,
Yes,
impersonate a town guard,
that's
fight
recent.
in the fighting
Yes,
pits.
that was good fun.
Mm-hmm. Get out. And now you're back in custody, and now you're telling me that they are threatening your friend's life over a scroll that you have. What is the
Aye.
scroll?
This I'm gonna just show him because it's still. Oh wait, no, the light went out on it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna show him that like it's just a fancy scroll. I don't know what it's for.
And he says, "May I?"
No, I.
He takes it and just kind of looks at it and he says, "Bit of a puzzle, isn't it?" And he starts to like spin some of the bits and bobs that move different directions. They're threatening your friend's life over this, and you don't even know what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Seems about right.
Now, you've already lied to me once.
I'm
The
not
second
lying
time
to you.
you're in a jail cell. You don't know what this is for.
It's.
If I knew what it was for, then maybe I would understand why it was worth taking someone, putting them in captivity, and threatening their life.
I think it has answers to questions. I don't. All right, I'm gonna lead out with this. I got it from Brandon.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it does, but it was from him, and now they want it.
Hmm. And he begins to like lean back in his chair a little bit and look around kind of contemplatively. And at that moment, you Knox, you hear kind of voices back and forth this whole time. Eventually, though, the same guard that had left earlier came back with another that looks. You don't have any reason to believe he's anything other than just another guard. And they go to the door. They walk in. Yeah, I mean, he just brought him in, you know. And then and Magdor's the only one that got a really good look at this guy, so like he doesn't look like anybody super familiar, just another guard. And he says, "Go in," and the other guy says, "Sir," and goes in, and he says, "Great." As Magdor, the door opens, and this other guy comes in that looks just like the one that you had picked out from that little parchment photo thing, and he says, "Just a moment," and he steps out kind of before the guy comes all the way in, and he says, um, "Would you mind coming in? What's your name? I'm sorry." And he points to you, Knox.
Technically, whatever Magdor calls me nowadays. I'd like to think it's Mary, but sometimes he calls me meaner things.
Fine. Miss Mary, would you mind coming in? I would love to involve you in this conversation at this point. Your friend seems to be a little hazy on some of the details, and I figured maybe you could clarify for him.
I give the guard a bit of maybe a mixture of like a blank and maybe squinty eyes stare. Then I kind of walk in, arms crossed. I follow his lead.
All right. So yeah, he gestures you in, pulls up another chair next to Magdor and says, "Please." And then pulls up a chair next to him opposite you and has the other guard. And the other guard kind of posts up next to the door, almost like on autopilot, understanding that maybe they're there to guard the door. And he says, "No, you're gonna come and sit down and have a conversation with us." Um, and at that point, when you're all seated, I don't want to presume that you do. Do you want to sit down, Nux?
If you don't mind, I'd like to stand.
Oh, of course. If that's where you're comfortable, that's no problem.
Thank you.
But you, and he points to the guard and says, "Sit now." And he says, "Sir." And he comes down and sits, leans the spear that he was holding up against the wall next to the door, and sits kind of awkwardly and looks at both of you. Um, and the guy, the guy goes, "So, do you want to tell him, Magdor?"
No.
"Fine, then I will. Listen, friend, apparently you're a part of the Coin Spinners gang." And he looks at his buddy and he says, "I need to know why you told them that their friend was in danger and why your people captured him. Also, you're going to be hanged in the morning." And he says, "Sir, no. I'm not a member of the Coin Spinners. No. Sir, I would never do that." And he says, "Son, you tell me honestly, right now, whether or not you're part of this." And he says, "I don't know anything, sir. Nothing. I've never met these people before. Who are you?"
I'm the champion.
"Sorry?"
I beat the Duragar.
"Oh, you're the guy that. Okay, great. Neat.
Can I shake
I've
your
never met
hand?
you. Sure, why?"
I'm gonna stick out my hand, go to shake it, and can I
And he looks to the
feel?
officer and he says, and he goes, "Yes." And he goes, "Okay." And go ahead and make a history check to see if you remember how this guy shook hands.
Oh yeah, I got a 5. About accurate.
What do you, but you think this is the guy, right?
No. No. Magdor doesn't want to make a decision on that. Once he heard hanged, he's like, "Oh shit,
And he
maybe
shakes
this
his
is."
hand and he's like, "Why did you shake my hand?
Oh, you shook my hand.
I've never met you before." I don't know who you are.
Uh,
And
If
he's like,
I'm
Not-
honestly, Captain, I've never met someone.
Mary,
if I may, Captain,
Yes.
I do have one thing I could offer to maybe solve this little riddle, if you will. If you'd like, I can sort this out fairly quickly.
I would appreciate that very much. I'd be in your debt.
What is your name, young soldier?
Griffith.
Griffith. Hear me and hear me well. If your life is going to be spared, I need you to be honest about everything. And I'm going to cast suggestion.
Okay. And what does that do? I know it generally, but I want to make sure that I don't misread what you're trying to do.
No, it's okay. You suggest a course of activity and magically influence a creature you can see within range that can hear and understand you.
Okay.
They do need to make a wisdom saving throw, which DC is a majestic 14.
He just seems to like, because you've seen people succumb to effectively magical spell effects, and sometimes people are so on track with what's going to happen. It's like you try to cast sleep on somebody, sometimes they don't even really resist, things like that. He just seems to immediately respond. He says, listen, I don't know you, I've never met you before, I wasn't even at the fighting pits, I was patrolling on the south shore, the south bank. I wasn't even in town. I mean, I was in town, but I wasn't on that side of town. I don't know who you are.
Does it seem like he's being magically influenced to say this, or is it coming out naturally?
He seemed to respond very quickly, but you imagine that's probably because of suggestion. But he does. I mean, if you'd like to make an insight check, you could determine whether or not that is honest.
Sure, even though, as per the usual, I'm god awful at insight. I did get lucky this time around. I rolled a
With advantage.
21.
Great. Yeah. He seems to be totally in the dark about what's going on here. This guy has nothing to do. He was not the person that met Magdor, unless he's really good at lying.
I put a hand on Magdor, and you see my eyes start to turn almost red as I look down at him. And I give him a shit-eating grin. And I look at the captain with still almost dangerous-looking eyes, and I say, it appears you interrogated a drunk dwarf, my friend.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Captain.
This dwarf is drunk.
He might as well be if he's spewing such complete bullshit.
Ah,
Wait. There was
so
another
another lie
picture.
from the dwarf.
No, it's not a lie. It was a misconception. There was another picture. Can we bring him in too?
Sure. And he says, Griffith, wait over there, out front. Leave this spear. Sit in the lobby. You're not at risk anymore, my boy. Don't flee. You're fine. And he says, okay, sir. And he kind of hurries out and leaves.
I'm
the spear.
sorry.
Exactly. And he says, piss off. And then
Can we
leaves.
arrest him?
I'd be mad too if I was him. You falsely accused him of being a member of the
I
Coin
didn't
Spinners who
falsely
threatened your-
accuse him.
Magdor, could I
told
see
you to find
your
the person that you met.
Can I see your warhammer, please?
Which one?
The one that's on your arm.
Okay. And it kind
Oh,
of
and
just
just
hold it
while
out to
you
him.
guys are doing this real quick, he does step out and ask for the other person with the picture. So
All right. I'm just
I'm
gonna
gonna-
hold up my arm.
I'm going to try to push the hammer lightly to donk him on the forehead.
Gonk.
Did you just seriously accuse somebody to the point of almost near death based off of your logic of looking at a bunch of pictures?
It looked just like him. There's another guy. He's gonna come in and look exactly the same, but he's different.
yeah, and at this point,
And-
both of the photos are there, and you can see how similar they did look. Knox/Mary. So that is in front of you now, so you can see that they did look similar.
I,
At
I
least.
I look at these pictures. Do I see anything that sticks out to me?
Uh, the biggest thing about these two photos is that it's obvious that they're both young men. And the one with the patchy beard who was not brought in looks younger even than this young guy that just came in. Probably late teens, maybe.
I Knox gives a deep sigh and looks at these pictures intensely, not seeing any glaring details that would give him or them the edge. And they try to think, Magda, was there anything that you can think of? A scar, a tattoo, something?
Oh, let me think. Why? Is there anything that I would recognize?
Mannerisms,
Uh,
anything. Guide.
Honestly, the only thing here, go ahead and make a flat intelligence check.
Roll to 1.
Okay, yeah, you don't really know how you would denote any more about this person than you had already recounted, and part of you is kind of scared to recount the wrong thing again. Because
I don't know. I think this is the guy. It looks just like him. I just don't want to get anybody hung because wrong.
You're right. So, we have a list of options. And I'm going to start.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I forgot to tell you. They said they could take a look into Bull's whereabouts, but that would take 10 days.
and the captain comes back and he says, "Also, I would need an accurate description." As he sits back down in front of you two.
Do I remember personally? Does Knox remember any glaring details that might have stuck anything out?
About this guy specifically.
About the guard that walked up to Magdor, shook his hand, and
Um,
then walked away.
why don't you make a history check as well? But I'm gonna let you make it with advantage, just because you have a much better mind for physical details and characteristics. Being a changeling who likes to keep that in his memory bank, you're
Okay.
more practiced at that.
I'm the kind of person that does study faces. Maybe offhand, this would have been passive. I did roll a natural 20, but again, skill checks do not count that, so it gives me a 21.
If I give you a 20 plus DC at level 4, I'm a dick.
I mean, I'm not
So-
going to stop you, but
Yeah, I know. No, but you definitely like think about it, and you do remember that he had what looked like a light bit of scarring on his left cheek. Because when he came up to Magdor, you were waiting for Magdor to come out, so you did mostly just see his profile. But on that one cheek, there was like an old light scar that wasn't super noticeable. And there's a good chance that since, like they said, the guy comes once a year to re up on these things, that may have happened after that was taken.
I,
Um,
w-
but
I would
you
like
recognize
to.
that the patchier beard is the one that came up to him.
You talking about this other photo?
Yeah, so the guy that's presumably coming in soon.
You see me NCIS level stare at this photo, and I look as I see that the beard's part in such a way that there's scar tissue covering it with my glowing red eye, and you see it fade back to a normal chocolate brown, and I look up at the guard and I say, Captain, I would like to warn you that this person may put up a fight if we get him in at all.
Doesn't surprise me. Guilty people run.
Well,
Is
I
it
walked
him?
up to you.
And he points at the picture you were just kind of, studying there, Knox.
The person that's sitting next to us, bless him, may have saw his face, but I have an attention to detail that brings out the pattern physicality, if you will, and I do believe that this person has a high contender to be our mark.
Good.
I'm sure some talking will get out of him. And if you would like, I'd be more than happy to interrogate for you.
As much as I would appreciate that, and I'm sure you're good, I should keep it city business.
As you
Don't want to
wish.
bring in civilians.
Wait a
It's under-
second.
Once we bring him in,
Called that other boy's son. He your son?
very, very good. Yes, he is my son, which is why I
Glad
am.
we didn't hang him.
I treat all my gods the same. Son, brother, friend, cousin, makes no difference. You're all held to the same standard. And extorting somebody at the cost of murder over a scroll, if proven guilty, would be a deemable executing offense. So,
I have
Um,
both arms on the table at this point, and I slowly turn my head to look over at Magdor, and I go, I see. And I start staring Magdor down.
Kinda like
so
leave.
I'm going to step out for a moment. Feel free to have more. And he pulls the pitcher up and another flagon for Mary, and he says, "Feel free, just don't overindulge, or you'll end up in a jail cell for the night." But
How much are these
I will be back
glasses?
in a few minutes with our possible offender. If you
Oh,
would
it's
just wait for a moment, is there anything else I can get for you?
yes. How much are these glasses? Maybe like 10 copper apiece?
Oh, less than that. They're made of wood, so maybe a copper piece
Okay.
or two.
I'm gonna I'm gonna pull out a silver piece and put it on the table and say, "That's all. Thank you."
You don't need to pay me. You can just drink from them and keep them. They're
I
all
won't be drinking from it, Captain.
okay. But he does push the coin back towards you. Says, "Thank you. I appreciate the offer, but I'm fine." And he steps and he walks away.
And I mutter to myself, visibly to Magdor, "We'll see."
So yeah, it seems like you have a few minutes to wait here as they close the door. You don't hear it lock though. It's the door is not locked. Before when Magdor first went in, they kind of like locked it, but you don't hear that this time. It's just closed.
I swig this drink. Would you like me to make a Constitution saving throw?
It's not strong enough unless you're gonna have like 2 or 3 glasses over the course of the next few minutes, for you to have to make any saves. It's a lighter sort of drink, like a nice light pale ale sort of thing.
I'll swig the drink and then I'm going to lunge at Magdor. You
And I'm in the middle of
fucking
drinking.
idiot! As I try to
What?
tackle him.
What are you doing?
I start like bopping him on the head like it's one of those Gopher mini games.
With his own warhammer.
Like
Quit hitting yourself.
I'm taking I'm trying to destroy this cup on Magdor's head.
Oh, with the cup, nice.
Hence paying for it in advance. And it's like, you tried killing his
I didn't
Magdor.
try killing anybody.
It appears that we are making a mistake here.
We're not making a mistake. We found the right guy. Now he can lead us to Vol, I think.
Where's your pouch of holding?
Right here.
And I'm gonna
Pull it out.
put the cup that I have, and I'm gonna shove it in there. Like, there, you stole a cup. Now we're even.
I don't know if that's going to fit.
It's a cup. You'll be fine. Look,
Does it fit?
Look.
Does what fit in it?
The cup fit into my pouch?
I mean, you can hook it on. There's plenty of like ropes and bips and bobs. Usually, like
No,
a
no,
flagon
into the
would be-
pouch of holding.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can stuff it in.
Look, have you ever done one of those things where you're at B-dubs and you're like, wow, this glass is really nice, and then you kind of shove it in your purse? This is you now. You are
No, my,
a criminal.
This
my
is your
sister
life.
just brings them home.
I kick back because, like, I'm like the angry wife who just caught the husband doing something incredibly bad at the police station. And I can't say what I just saw for legal purposes, but I can't say what I just saw Brandon pull out for legal purposes because I do not want any legality entailed to that. I'm an angry half elf.
All right, yeah. So you kind of sit there fuming, leaning back now after bonking him on the head with stuff, and and eventually you hear footsteps and voices as the door opens and the captain comes back in and he says, and he closes the door and kind of leans up against the wall and he says,
Yeah, Knox
would
is spinning
appear
in their
that,
seat.
the god in question is missing.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
I
He
can
wasn't
tell
on
you where.
patrol. He didn't show up this morning.
Can tell you certainly where he's at right now. I'll give you.
Probably Clearlight.
I'll give you 3 guesses, but looks like you won it on 1. Congratulations, you won a prize. As I slide the silver piece towards him.
So this is city business. I would ask that you would go to your hotel at the Seven Sails and stay inside. And I looked at
Captain,
both of you pointed. Do we understand this?
hypothetically, if someone was held hostage for something that could be considered of high value, about how much time would you say that person has before they may be considered not worth the collateral?
Well, the coin spinners have never killed anyone to my knowledge, so I would say
So-
he's okay.
Okay, good, because I really wanted a long rest before I made any decisions, but you know,
Sleep
suggestions.
on it for sure.
Yeah, right.
How long?
I don't think he's at risk of dying, but I still don't know what he looks
No.
like, except that he's an 8-foot tall human.
How long would it take you to
What
investigate
does
Clearlight?
he look like?
He's a
That'll-
Goliath. He's a damned Goliath.
You told him
So
he
whose
was
finger was that?
I don't know.
You have a random finger. All right.
You showed him the
Mhm.
finger.
I
And he
found,
just
I
says, "Come
found
on."
it
You
at the
told him he
prisoners'
was a
carnival.
human.
I found it
You
at
found-
the prisoners' carnival.
Make a
Tell
deception
me
check.
you've never found a body part at the prisoners' carnival.
Make a deception check.
About time we make some fucking deception checks on this deceiving motherfucking dwarf over here.
I roll a 15.
I believe
And
it.
he says, "Come on."
What? Where am I going?
You're going in the cell
Why?
because I need to prove that you weren't the one that killed someone and took their finger. I'm going
Yeah.
to go to the people at the carnival and make sure that they had all the fingers, that they gathered everything up, that no one stole anything, that no one picked anything up from off the stage. Because
Don't
it is
birds
Peach
pick them up?
Possibly, but they usually.
I
come
start
in at
sweating
1, 2.
profusely.
Do you
This
remember any
finger was
birds
not
near us?
That old. It had not been decayed that much, so it had to have been recently.
Do you remember any birds near us?
Yes, your friend had a bird. It's sitting on the roof.
And what do you think he would have perked up at the prisoners' carnival?
No crows flew on the stage. That I know of. Usually they keep track of that.
I'm gonna look over at Mary.
Purposely
Like,
for this, because
what?
things get lost, and if something gets lost, they have to report it so we don't have random body parts showing up worrying that someone's dead. If they say somebody came and took a finger, then I
I'm
know
gonna
that
look
a
over
bird
at
may show
Mary.
up with a finger.
Gonna look over at Mary. Like, Mary, where did Crosif get this finger from?
Captain, have I lied to you so far?
No, you're under no suspicion.
Thank you. Who gave you this finger?
Your friend.
I think he prefers a stiff pillow, but if you can get him something fluffier just to make the night a little bit more miserable, feel free.
Good. And he says, "Come on."
This is the second time you've got me arrested. I'm just gonna stomp off.
You're just gonna stay here until I prove that it's not you. Like I said, they keep record of the body parts, what was destroyed, what was taken. If somebody took something, they keep it on record so that the city doesn't go after every loose body part that's going around because of the prisoners' carnival. So we should very easily be able to prove whether or not you killed someone.
How do you
So-
know it wasn't my finger? Gonna hold up my battle axe hand.
When did your arm get lost?
About a year ago.
That is not a year-old finger.
Yeah, right.
Come on. And
At
so,
least
yeah,
he's
you can have-
honest in the end.
And he asks for your bag, your weapons, your armor, everything, and they just like basically, if you're willing to give it, they just set it behind the jailer's
I'm gonna-
desk effectively.
I'm gonna act like I can't take the battle or the warhammer off my arm
Mm-hmm.
and just kind
I'll-
of like
I'll give him the
fucking
help
faulty
action.
metal.
So so Nox comes up and offers to help you.
No, you remember what happened last time?
Right, it just off, right?
Felt
We-
weird. Ah, fine, here you go.
What's that? A
Armor.
counterclockwise turn?
Oh, not
And-
that way, not that way.
With another seeming deception because you were like, "Oh, I can't get it off." And then you're just like, "Fine," and then you hand it to him. The captain goes, "You need to stop lying. Just be
Can't
honest."
help it, it's fun.
And then he opens the door and leads you in, and then shuts it, and he says, "Just stay here."
You,
And he
you know
says-
what they say? Little white lies aren't evil.
Who
Says the
says
man with
that,
the
Magdor?
finger.
Morden says that.
Mary, thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry that you have to spend such time with such people, but I would hope that in the future you reassess your friends. If you could, I would love to send an escort with you back to the Seven Sails. And if, like you said, you could spend at least the next day or so there, we will come to you if we find any new information. But you should be safe there, as I will leave those guards there as an escort, as a safety security detail.
I may not be a citizen of Luskin, I'll admit that. But as someone who's upright, I would like to say that would be excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is it ma'am? I apologize. I don't.
Are you becoming
Your name
woke,
is Mary.
Captain?
Your name is Mary, but I apologize, but you have some. Somebody told me that you were a.
Somebody
woman,
once
another
told you
person
the
told
world is
me-
gonna roll you. Is that what this is?
Well, another one of my guards said that he thought you were just a very feminine man, and I can't tell. So I just wanted to make sure that I called you correctly. I want to be respectful to those who are guests in our town.
You can ask Magdor here. He'll just believe whatever the opposite is, what he says.
It's opposite day always with Magdor. I see. And he says, "If that's
I'm
all,
gonna
I'm
murder
going to be-
somebody.
I'm going to. Excuse me. No talking.
Oh, sorry.
He didn't hear what you said, but he did hear you talk. And he says, "Great, Gerald Winfrey, would you please take Mary back to the Seven Sails, and I will have someone there within 8 hours to relieve you of your post. Stay there." Opposite day with Meg. And yeah, so as if you are led there, we can kind of like move forward to that. Magdor, you're staying in jail again.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything once? I mean, in jail, there's not too much for you to do, but for Mary specifically, when you get to the Seven Sails, is there anything you want to do once they kind of escort you in and then they stay at the front door?
Me specifically?
Yeah, they're just watching the front door of the inn, and then one of them stays out front, and the other one is going to go in with you and just kind of be in the same room, unless you want to be in private.
What are you talking about? This person is going to be in the room with me?
Yeah, they won't go in your bedroom, but like if you go to the place where the food is served or drinks are, they'll stand at the entrance to that place and keep an eye on the room and you. And then also there's somebody watching the front door of the hotel.
I'll skip along as happy as I can as Knox in this dreadful situation that I've allowed to concur. Uh,
Classic
and,
Magdor.
and I will. Well, I mean, if you think about it, Fool's been kidnapped. Magdor has successfully got himself lied into jail with the guard that was trying to help him. Maybe with some assistance from Knox, but we'll skip over that little detail. Just like I'm going to skip up, is the bookkeeper the person from the night or the morning shift at this point?
It looks like the same person because they did say they were twin brothers, but you could presume it's not the same person because it's late enough in the day. You could.
I'll go up and ask. Hi, are you the daytime twin or nighttime twin?
Oh, I just relieved my brother. I'm here for the day.
The day. The night?
Well, he leaves around noon. I work from midday until about midnight, and then we swap.
Were you the person that checked us in?
That would have been my brother.
I see. Knox.
As he said, you arrived in, the early morning hours, still basically nighttime, yes?
Right. And when we left in the morning, you said it was the twin brother that checked in.
Yeah.
So is this something I should be suspicious of, or
No,
is this a Glenn thing?
This is a Glenn thing. We'll just say that it was the same brother before.
It's whatever you want. You're the DM. It's the same person.
There's actually 4 of them.
I was feeling kind of sick, so he covered a little later for me.
He walks away. Oh, time to change shift, and he puts on a different hat. It's like, haha. No, I'm no longer Mario. I am Marco.
Marco. He says, "Yeah, sorry about that. Is there something I can help you with?"
Nope. Apparently, I made a mistake. That's all my bad. It seems like this, and I'm gonna look over at the guard. Could you describe this guard to me?
They're all kind of the same. It seems like they have very similar to most militaries or like whatever organized force of any sort. They have guidelines. So some of them do have beards, but they never get past a certain point. Some of them, and they're always well taken care of. All of their hairs are either buzzed, shaved, or short. None of them are long. And so, like, for the most part, they all just look like dudes. There's a lot of humans in Luskin, so there's a lot of, especially since kind of regionally, the humans look similar. There's minor differences, but for the most part, they're kind of like light bluish eyes, paler kind of skin, sometimes tan, but usually kind of flexible on the skin tone, and then like brownish hair.
Do they look handsome? As Ixie would say.
Handsome, as he would say. Yes. Objectively, the people of the North have kind of a rugged attractiveness to them.
Okay. I'll look up and, at this person. I'm assuming they're a little bit taller than me because I tried to adopt a shorter physique, but I look and go, are you joining my room? Are you going to stand in front of it? What would you like to do?
Whatever you're comfortable with, miss.
You're not going to like what you see if you come in my room. I'm going to tell you that. Magdor lived in there for a whole day, and he turned it into a lair.
A lair?
Lair. Have you heard of liches?
Yes.
Dark, nefarious creatures.
Yes.
Yes. They can turn a cabin into this hideous sanctum of evil and undead. They think that except beer bottles.
You turned him into a lair?
I turned him... Oh dear, you're missing a chromosome, aren't you? Go ahead and stand outside the door.
Of course. Whatever you're most comfortable with, miss.
Thank you. And
you
I
go- and then he leads you up there to your room.
okay, I close the door. I immediately regret my comment, and I just slowly shift back into changeling form as I lock the door, and I realize that we have made absolutely no progress today beyond the dwarf scroll, and it's like.
Yeah, as you're
And
waiting, contemplating what's gone on, Magdor, it's only about 20, 30 minutes. And then somebody comes back with a sheet, a piece of paper, and they hand it to the person behind the desk and they say, Captain. And the captain comes out and he says, Right, right. No missing fingers. That's weird, but. Oh, no, right here. From 2 days ago. Yes, a human lost a finger. Magdor. And then it appears
Before
once
he-
again that you are not a liar. You just appear to be one.
Before he gets to me, or as he's walking to me, sees me looking out the window at the full moon that's not there.
starts
And I
howling.
start
Oh.
singing like, "Oh, I miss my Nox."
And
Hope that Nox is singing with me, looking out the moon out of the hotel room
I miss my
in the middle
Magdor
of the day.
as I open the windows. I'll look
he
out
says,
and just
Stop singing!
Oh, what
But
what
he
what are you
opens it up
saying?
and he throws your bag at you and sets your weapons on the bench inside of the jail cell and he says, "Get your stuff back on. You're free to go. Now go
Do
back
you
to
want
the
this finger back, or can I keep it?
Do whatever you want with the finger. Just don't eat it."
No, I'm gonna put it back, and I'm gonna put it back in the bag of holding,
Okay.
pouch of holding. There's
And he
no
shivers a little bit.
there's no atmosphere in there. That finger will be fine.
Great. So Willem and Renfrey are going to be taking you in to the Seven Sails to make sure you go back safely, and they're going to I figure we might as well double up the guard, have 2 at the front door and 2 watching you guys to make sure that you're safe. So stop lying. And then he just
Not lying. You
away.
just not believe in me.
Eventually you're able to get your stuff on. The guards will help you if you want to, and then they say, "You ready to go, sir?"
You ready as I'm ever gonna be.
They guide you back to the Seven Sails, where there is one guard outside of the front. They send him in and say, "We got the front. Go." And then the one inside says, "Your friend is up in her room, so
I'm gonna walk up to the
I'm gonna
front
take you
desk.
there."
I'm gonna walk up to the front desk real quick. Look, aren't you the same person from before?
From before when, sir?
From breakfast.
No, that was my brother.
It's hard to keep you two together.
Just assume that we have all the same information. It's just to
How
make
many
sure
of
we
you
don't-
are there?
Just 2. We
Just
have
two. And you work every
there's a
day?
young-
Is
there's
this a
young
Nurse
lady
Joy
that comes in
situation?
on the Yeah. There's a young lady that comes in on the weekends and relieves us. We just work during the week.
Everybody's
okay.
working on the weekend.
All right. What time's lunch?
2 hours ago, sir.
When's dinner?
2 or 3 hours should be ready in not long.
Do you have any sausage?
No, your friend ate most of it, so they have to save it.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up and head upstairs.
Great. As you kind of are once again just sitting there in contemplation, it's not been more than a half hour, Knox, and you hear a at the door.
Now, do I know whether or not the guard would? Where would the guard be stationed?
Just
to
right
clear-
outside the door.
Okay, so
And he
my
says, but he bangs, but the guy's like, "Sir, you can just go in. It's your room." And then he opens it up, and you see Magdor.
I was initially gonna say I'll spread eagle over some kind of pentagram to sell my soul to the Raven Queen, but I don't think that's going to be the case tonight. you see like you don't see. I'm gonna say the moment I heard the door knock, I hid behind the bed.
Cool. Make a stealth check. See how well you hid.
Awesome, cool. I rolled a 9.
What is your passive perception, Magdor?
13.
So you do see, like, you don't see Knox, but you see, like, the tail end of his coat coming out from the other side of the bed as if he's probably.
Oh no, I'm stark naked, so you can maybe
Oh,
see.
okay, it's just his foot. It's
Yeah,
foot. You
a
see-
full foot.
Yeah.
Where's Knox? I'm gonna walk around like, where are they? There you
Close the door
are.
behind you.
Wait, what's up?
They close the door behind Magdor when he goes in.
And I'm gonna jump behind the bed and see Knox right there.
I'm gonna try to crab scramble under the bed out of the way.
You get under the bed.
They let me out.
Lock the door.
The
I don't
door's
know.
locked.
Okay.
Man,
Maybe
you
it's
really
not.
do love lying. The d-
I think.
Please.
Can I use thaumaturgy to lock the door? No. All right.
You
It's
swing
fine,
it
I'll show
open
you.
wide.
I'll show you. The door's locked. I'm gonna use thaumaturgy. Try to open the door.
I mean, it opens wide.
Oh,
It just goes and swipes open, and you see the two guards. And they're like, "Sir, is everything all right?
yeah. I thought the door was locked. I'm sorry.
Where's Mary?"
Uh,
And they
she's-
immediately
she-
run into the room and go, "Where is Mary?"
I immediately cast
She's-
disguise self and I turn into Mary naked under the bed.
She's improper right now.
I sleep
Sorry.
I sleep nude, okay? I didn't think Magdor was coming back tonight.
And they're all like covering their eyes. They're like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And they just make their way out and shut the door.
And
I
I'm
dropped
gonna walk around
disguise.
and lock it.
Cool. Inspiration point,
Oh.
guys. This is fun.
Sorry about that.
I turn completely back in the changeling form and go, I just gotta look at him and go, I'm gonna keep the voice because I know they're on the other side of the door and going, that was real smart of you.
Well, I thought the door was locked. Why wouldn't they lock the door? They're guarding us. You think they would lock it?
I had my patience right here. I'm gonna point up to your shoulder, and it's like,
No, that's not very high.
I know, because you're just like way up here, and like my arm almost like extends unnaturally so a little bit as I like try to do like multiple feet above his head. It's like you've reached a new limit, my friend. But
Would you?
yes,
They let me go though.
so what did you do to get out? I'm assuming now we gotta pay for a dwarf-sized hole in the jail cell.
No, they let me out. They saw the finger was the finger from the carnival.
Do you have any like witness testimony to you like killing everybody or something that you just want to hand over to him too?
No, I can't kill anybody.
Oh, I've seen you do it once or five. You remember that time that you did the down A smash with your hammer and Gallagher a guy into two?
Oh yeah, that was our first fight. That was fun.
It was beautiful. Don't worry, I got it. Like it's almost like sometimes when you sleep a little too long past 8 hours, you see there's two reasons why I get up at 8 hours and 4 minutes. The first one is Vol will beat the shit out of me if I try sleeping in. He won't do it actually that, he'll kick me, but more importantly, if I sleep past my 8 hours, the brain's like, oh, you want to go into overtime? Let's remind you of the time that Magdor decided to use a blunt object as a guillotine, and then it just plays over in a 10-second loop until I wake up. It's the perfect alarm clock.
I'm surprised it's that and not the guy whose head I smashed in between my hammers right next to you.
I'm pretty sure I was unconscious when that happened.
Yeah, I
But
don't remember.
but that's
You were
that's
there?
metagaming.
I don't remember you being there.
Look, heads blowing off. that's rookie stuff. You know, you see that firebolt? Like it should have
No.
been unnatural. Oh, that's really disappointing. He was hooked onto you like phonics.
Oh, you mean the guy that I almost killed that you stole
What did I steal from him?
his life?
Oh, oh, and like I'm still under the bed. Actually, no. Well, no, I wouldn't have been. So just to commit to that, I'm gonna get up, do the whole hand gesture, and then slither back under the bed like some kind of weird spirit from the well or the ring, and I'm just gonna pat him on his foot and go, "Oh, you poor thing, you." Tell you what, next time I'll get you, Magdor.
Yeah.
I don't think these guards are gonna be able to do anything in the long run. I mean, they can, but I think it's the short run we got to worry about. They're gonna win the marathon, but they're not gonna win, the sprint to save Vol.
I was trying to get some of them to help us, but I guess not.
I think if you want to take care of shady criminals, we need to find people that are well versed in it. And honestly, a Vol would have been our best shot. He's used to that stuff. I've seen it before, but it's kind of like going to the zoo versus the safari. I see the wild animals, but I never really, up until a week ago, I'd never got a promotion to, Steve Irwin at this point. And I think we either need to go in somehow, or we need to find help. That isn't the law.
What if we? Well, will the guards even let us out?
That's a good
I'm
question.
gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. You hard. You hard.
I retreat further into the bed.
I'm
Let's
gonna
make a
knock.
stealth check with advantage, so I have a DC if they try to look for you.
Who, me specifically?
Mhm.
Okay. An 18.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm going
Great.
to knock on the door.
They say, yeah.
Can I come in?
Do you mean can you come out?
Sure, thanks. I'm gonna open the door and walk out.
No. Yeah, I was repeating your question in the correct phrase. You have to stay in the inn. You can't leave. Are you just
I
going
wasn't-
for some food?
I was gonna ask for the food. Do you remember how long it was gonna be?
Couple hours.
Couple hours. Can I go check on my horse?
We will do that for you, sir. What stable is it in?
Mary, what stable was Sparker Spark in?
This stable number here.
You know which one it is.
That
You say the
one.
right number. Yeah.
It's in
Um,
that one.
Great. So
Mm.
I will go check on it, and he will stay.
As Brennan
Do you
goes
need
into
anything
like
else?
full on Chewbacca mode with his
Do you
beard.
need anything else, Magdor?
No, that should be it. Thank you.
Good. Very nice, sir. And he waits for you to close the door, and you see the other ones waiting as well until you close it to leave.
I'm just gonna stand there for a second.
If I can, I.
Close the door in front of you. And then you
Oh,
hear footsteps
jeez.
walk away.
I'm gonna do something that I forgot I can do. Since there's no active range on it. Hiding under the bed still, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna take a little nap, and then I'm gonna plunk out as I switch my consciousness over to Krosiv, who's been sitting over the guard tower this entire time. Now, I have a rough idea where clear light is, as it's starting to get a little bit dark, but I'm gonna have, with control of him, fly over to clear light, if I can.
Let me see if you have the range for that. I know at very least.
Like, last time we did this, we basically said or realized that there was no range, and the only thing that stopped it was your idea of an extra dimensional space.
Well, when it's within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. So
True,
you can't.
true.
You can as an action see through his eyes, but you can't tell him to do anything until he's closer.
True.
Yeah. So.
So
if you
then
wanna
I guess
call him, and then yeah, it's
Then, if possible, then can I tell him to fly over to Clearlight and find try to find Vol in a window or something, just as like a
Can
last
you
ditch
call him
effort.
and get him closer? Yeah, you could give him a course of action and still watch through his eyes as he does it.
Okay, then I'll do that. Then I say, scout out Clearlight, try to find Vol.
Cool. He as you so you call him, you give him that instruction, and then you warg into his eyes as you lay down. Right?
Yep,
You wanted to
yep.
like take a nap and then warg into him. Great.
Under the
Yeah.
bed
So
and
he
everything.
flies off. Flies off. It's gonna be like a minute or two. Is there anything else you're doing, Magdor, before I give narration on Bird
I'm
investigating
going
Clearlight?
to give Knox my idea for a plan.
He can't hear you
Oh, I know.
while he's in the
That's just
bird.
what I'm doing right now.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't see him work. I just think that Knox is under the bed right now.
So go ahead and mute Discord for a second, so we'll keep this super super meta. So you will have
Me?
literally no for
Oh.
and I'll
I have no idea what they're saying, folks.
um, so when you go jump into Corrosive's eyes, you lay down. You're laying down underneath the bed. Yes, Knox.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So it takes the bird a couple minutes to get to where in that direction, but it's supposed to look for a church. It knows to look for that size and type of building. It's familiar and intelligent enough to recognize it, and it does. And as it flies closer, it kind of like flies high in general for a while, and then finds it and hones a little more evenly and pointedly towards it. You see out front, in the streets in front, kind of down the front stone steps, is this old cathedral-looking building, and down the front steps they are running what looks like a soup line, where they are giving bread and kind of like a minestrone sort of like vegetable soup, that they're handing out in lines to folks that are wearing, for lack of a better term, not real nice clothes,
Right.
um, raggedy clothes. Some of them being children, some of them don't look like they have an adult there with them. They're just there getting food. Um, and the bird flies around for a while. And what were the exact instructions? You said investigate and look for vole.
Uh, find Clearlight. Try to search the windows for Vol.
Okay. And so the bird, after kind of knowing that this is probably it, kind of swoops in and around over that area, and you're able to see this whole scene taking place, and you hear the voices. of some of these, men and women on the opposite side of the table serving. They're like, stay warm. And they're even handing out some, like, looks like hand knit, like, gloves and hats and scarves that they can provide because
Aw. Maybe
they
these
can't
guys
provide
aren't so
full
bad.
clothing. Yeah, I know they're terrible. But they are providing like small bits of clothing for people to try and help keep their extremities warm, which is what you kind of miss out on a lot of the time when you're, without a home. You get a shirt and clothes and maybe shoes, but gloves, scarves, hats are all commodities that they're not used to. And the bird, though, then as it kind of flies past and you hear and see a little bit of the scene going on, you do see some folks kind of off on the side being, for lack, I mean, I say this a lot, for lack of a better term, a little shady. They're talking quietly, in hushed voices off to the side of the building, and they hand something between hands. And then it looks at the windows because that was kind of the next thing you wanted it to do, is look for Vol in the windows. And it flies around, and this building is large, and the part of the reason why it's likely that they said it was much of a fortress, that lady, is because of the fact that it has large walls built up around all the edges, partially to conceal a graveyard that's on one side.
Hmm.
And when it's not a stone wall, it's a wrought iron gate, so that is sealed off. And then the building itself looks super solid. It looks like it's actually lasted through a lot of probably conflict. They did mention that they were at war with Neverwinter, not in the too distant past.
Right.
There's like bust, almost all the windows are gone except for one on the back end on the opposite side from where they're
I
showing
should have
two.
told Krosov to pack at that window.
Just break the last window on it. But he flies around and, like, looking inside doesn't really net that much for him. You could make a check to try and denote, like, without like you having the crow make a check. It just looks darkish. Like, it doesn't look like they may have a few torches inside, a few people pass by every once in a while, but during the day, looking into, you know, a big open building effectively, you can just kind of see a few people inside that don't look like they're doing anything odd. They're just
Do
people walking around.
do I see anybody that looks like, to me, Charlemagne,
Charlemagne?
aka
You're talking about
Simpson?
Simpson?
Yes.
Simpson? Go ahead and make a. We'll do an intelligence-based perception check.
For the crow or on my behalf? What do you want?
It'll be your statistics. So since
Sure.
it's you making the check.
So you want an
'Cause it's like
intelligence
it's
check?
recalling an intelligence. Technically, if you're trained in history, it'd be the same modifier. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Then I got
Off check.
a 19.
19. Very good.
Yeah,
Yes.
+1.
You actually don't. Yeah, that's awesome. You do. As the crow doesn't focus in on it because obviously, it's the crow and it's doing its own thing. But you recognize that face that you saw on the streets after the fight that one day um, passed by one of the windows, looking like they're headed into the building somewhere. But
The
then
plot
as he continues to
thickens.
fly, you lose that face and it comes back around and it doesn't look like you see him anymore among the faces passing by the windows.
Okay. Well, I know who I'd disguise myself as if I wanted to sneak in, but sure.
And then eventually the bird, after feeling like it's done what you told it, probably takes about 15, 20 minutes in total, comes back and flies back in. Do you want to stay with the bird the whole time or do you want to, like, unwarg as soon as it starts to fly back?
Once I determined that it's like a safe distance from anything that could hit it from that fortress, then yes, I would probably unwarg, I believe you called it.
Yeah. So you do that. It's probably been about 16 minutes ish, in total when you unwarg. And as you kind of come to, you don't hear anybody moving, but you do hear that the fire has been stoked and logs have been put on it. And from underneath the bed, you can see Magdor's body laying next to it with his steady breathing, as if he's gone to sleep next to the fireplace.
I on all fours kind of clamber out Crab Lake and I kind of wake, stand upright. I'm like, went to sleep? Ah. I'm like 50-50 on to whether or not to try to wake him up or just call it with that. It's like, Charlemagne, I found you. Soon be mine. And I am going to go to sleep with him. Not with Magdor specifically, because that'd be weird. But I'm going to look around, realize that I've been fighting off a sense of loneliness that's been almost pervasive since this morning. As I go over to the couch that Vol was sleeping on and try to tuck myself in his stead.
Okay.
We sleep,
And you sleep.
and then we.
And,
Um,
and we sleep.
at some point, you do wake up. It's probably. Actually, let me roll. So, who wants to be odds? Who wants to be evens?
You know what?
I'll be
I think
odds.
I'm gonna say I've been the straight list guy. I think Magdor has been the odd one today. Which
Yeah, agreed. So I will. Great. Neither of you trance, do you? No, that's just elves and half elves. Okay. So yeah. Um, the at some point it is dark when you wake up, but Magdor, you wake up having doffed your armor and with your weapons nearby, but just comfortably sleeping, waiting for the night to come so you can try and figure something out to go get Vol. And you wake up to a hand over your mouth and psst. You turn and look. You look at him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely Sibsian. And
I'm
he
gonna
says,
like.
"Shh, shh, 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 shh.
You see my eyes go wide.
I'm here. I'm a friend. I'm a friend. I am a friend.
Nox, is that you?
I'm not." And he says, "No, no, no, no. This is my name.
Oh,
Is
Charlemagne.
I would like to speak with your friend, Nox. You say Nox? That is Nox.
Mary. No, that's Mary.
Mary. I would like to speak with you and Mary quietly." And every time you move, every time you talk, he kind of puts his hand back. He says, "I will step away. I have no weapons. Look, look, no weapons."
I
And
smell
in the darkness,
French.
you can't really. Do you have dark vision?
I do.
Okay, so his skin does look like it's a darker shade. He looks very similar to what Mary slash Nox transformed into when he was trying to like make these people do what they wanted when you guys were fighting the seafaring folk in the forest with Vol. And he says, "My name is Sibsian. I am here to help."
But
And he puts his hand out to help you up.
I grab it. Get
And
pulled
he
up.
helps you up. And he says, "Is your friend a calm person? I can wake them up.
You can draw.
I will. Maybe I stand behind you, and you vouch for me. I will put my hands in the air, and we will converse quietly, um, so the gods do
I've
not
got
hear
a
us."
better idea. Can I tie you up?
Oh,
It would
why would you want to tie me up? I am here to help you.
because Mary doesn't know that, and Mary is a very suspicious person.
Oh, if you would like to do this, I will comply. If it will help, we must save your friend. He will be dead by sunrise.
Yes, let me tie you up.
Please,
Oh no,
and he goes and sits
no, no,
down
no!
in
I
a
have a
chair.
better idea. I'm
What?
going to pull out my last friend coin.
Oh,
I have one more, and I'm going to hand it to him.
and he says,
Be like, show this to Nox as soon as, or show this to Mary as soon as they wake up. and then we can save
Yes.
Vol, right?
To Mary, right? Mary, not Knox. You've called him. You've called
No,
them
no.
Knox twice. And wah! And he looks closely at the thing sleeping in bed. Or oh, I guess you're under the bed, right? He just probably.
I was on the
you're
on the
couch.
couch.
Oh, you're on the couch. Did you sleep
I,
with a blanket?
I
on?
am in plain visibility right now for
It says, your friend is quite confusing to see. I was not sure what was on, so that is why I woke you up. But I will show them this coin. As a sign of trust.
Yes, that's a coin for trust. But
Good.
before I give it to you, because I'm still like holding it.
Oh, okay.
Before I give it to you, you said you can help us save Vol.
The big Goliath. He is. Yes, I know where he is. I just must speak with you quickly.
Okay, and I'm gonna let go of the coin, and I'm gonna walk over to Knox.
I'm like snoring and I have like one pink finger pointed at the door going, Charlemagne, your death will be your own undoing.
Who is Charlemagne?
You,
Dodge.
He wants to kill me.
it's a long story.
I will sit.
Yeah, that's what the coin's
correct.
for.
The
And
finger
then I
for
would-
some reason unconsciously follows Simpson. Just for flavor.
Great. Yeah.
All right,
So yeah, he sits down and waits for whatever is going to happen.
and I'm going to gently touch Knox, not shake them yet, just touch him. Give him a gentle when you wakes someone up gently, you kind of like massage them. You don't like shake or anything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, all right,
Oh,
you ready
Sparkle
to save Vol?
Sparks.
Sparkle Sparks.
Yeah, Sparkle Sparks. We're
Are
gonna
you,
save.
are you ready? And I'm gonna
we're
shake
gonna-
a little harder.
We're gonna.
Are you ready
Oh,
to save Vol?
man,
like
you're
we
really
talked about?
aggressive, Sparkle Sparks. We'll save Vol together,
I'm gonna
but
grab
then
my both shoulders and just
I'm
start
gonna ride
shaking.
you. Dodge! I'm gonna try the acrobatics in the air, fully nude. Can I
Alright.
can I do an acrobatics check to see what I do?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, Jesus.
I rolled a unnatural 20. I think I would do the special move where I launch out of the bed and I got both legs on top of Magdor's shoulders trying to pin him down. He's pressed against the smoothness of Barbie as I try to
Right
take him down.
And you, when you hop up on his shoulders, very adeptly, by the way.
Thank you.
You see at that point, now that you are kind of higher placed, a figure sitting in one of the chairs in the room off to the side, with their hands up like this, and you immediately recognize them as Sipsian.
I will do the 2 blinks to let Magdor say what he needs to.
But before you, listen. Look,
I start to raise a
I'm gonna
finger.
Point to Sipsian.
Yep, I'm going to point with them.
And he pulls out the coin. I am a friend.
You see the fire starts to light up at the fingertip, but then I'm like immediately, or Nox is immediately confused, like, that coin was a bad idea.
No, the coin was a good idea. You would have killed our only chance to get to Vol. Listen. I may not be the best with people, but I know if he wanted to kill us, we would be dead. He snuck up on both of us. Neither of us had any idea.
On the
And
dresser
and he
is...
just points at the window, which is now open. He says, "The window. I came in. Avoided the guards."
I'm going to
Right.
look at the dagger that's sitting on the dresser, and I'm going to say, Mother, your call.
And you feel no response.
I would say with my intelligence, I know that the Raven Queen wants this guy for better or worse, And with no response, I would interpret that as she's not interested in this person, which then in the wild chain of events would then assume this is not Charlemagne. Magdor, that's not Charlemagne.
My name
No,
is not
it's-
Charlemagne. My name is Sipsian. I am a friend. I want to help you find Vol. He is going to be killed by morning at night, at first light.
Who the fuck is Homer Simpson and why is they a drow? Wait.
Egyptian.
As
I'm very confused.
I pull out from behind my back, I look at the drawing that I got from Lord Never Ember, and I look at him and go, Simpson?
It is me. I am a friend.
And I turn around like, wanted? Show this makeshift you see me drawing crayon like super most wanted, preferably alive.
It is very true. I am wanted in Neverwinter for crimes that I did not commit. That's why I fled. The Arcane
So-
Brotherhood has taken me in.
Why do you have Vol?
I do not have Vol. The coin spinners do.
But you have a coin.
I have your coin.
You are
Oh,
with
that's right.
them, Simpson.
Yes, I am working for the Arcane Brotherhood to get into their ranks. I found out where your friend was, and now I am returning the favor. As long as you do not
The
Turn
favor. What
to
favor?
Lord Neverember, if you do not turn me into Lord Neverember, bring me back to Neverwinter, I will tell you where Vol is, and you can save his life.
I'm going to shimmy my position because Magdor's talk must be a little bit muffled with my muffin in his face, so to speak. And I'm gonna like swing around to where we're now. He's got me on the shoulders like fighting chicken style at the pool, and I'm gonna tap Magdor's head and go, guide. And I'm gonna like reach my hand down, or I'm gonna go like, you're the wiser one.
I think we should trust him for now. And I'm gonna like whisper this to Vol or Denox, but obviously it's not gonna be too much of a whisper. It's gonna be. And besides, once we save Vol, if we need to, we can still capture him.
Well, did I get a long rest?
Yeah, you both did.
Oh, cool. I feel a lot better about this actually. So I'm going to what is the name of there was like a super popular WWE wrestler that was like very acrobatics. No bells?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay. Well, this is awkward. I'm just gonna like try to do like a front flip by pressing my feet against Magdor's chest and then kind of kicking off. And
Great. Yeah, you do it.
try
Easy
the
peasy.
land. Yeah, cool. God
We'll
bless
say
up.
that 20 carries into that. It's just a flip. You know, it's nothing ornate. You can do that.
I flip Magdor and then I pin him to the ground for the 3 count. No,
Ding ding ding.
I wake up all the guards with the bell.
World champion.
I wish I remember who that person was. Anyways, I'm gonna eyeball them. I'm super naked. The only thing that's like around me right now is my arcane focus around my neck, and it's like,
But you're Barbie doll, down there, right? So it's
Yeah.
like no privates, and he once you hop off, now that your privates would be exposed, he says, "I am so sorry. I will turn. You may I
We-
am so sorry."
Magdor, we more hunting this fuck?
But he can help us save Vol.
Would you please put? I apologize, but if we are to continue conversing, I would
What?
like to
You-
have
Look, the way you see me now is probably worse than what you see down there.
you
and-
are comfortable with this?
I'm going to use disguise self, and I'm going to produce a single finger between my legs. It's a pointer finger, and I go, scary, huh?
I apologize, but I cannot converse when there's. How is there? Why is there a finger?
Watch this as I squat down to pick up my cloak with the single finger.
You do. It's weird.
How uncomfortable can I make the DM?
Yeah, the guy and Sibsian just goes. I would like to converse, but I am very uncomfortable.
Well.
Can't you shapeshift too?
I can do minor changes, yes, but nothing like that.
I turn into Charlemagne then, and go, brother, you're butt naked.
Hello, Mira.
Hello, it's been so long. For 10 years, we thought we were the same copy of our father. But today, I find we are different.
I have no brothers.
Solid. Sorry, I'm
Do you
making a
want to
Malgary
save your
solid.
friend? His life is in danger. He will be dead within 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, technically, we're supposed to have a week, but, you know. As I, like, grunt and
Who
start to
told you of time frames?
God.
I know not what god you speak of, but they are planning to kill him unless they have the scroll at first light tomorrow.
It's really scary because I'm totally breaking fourth walls as we speak, but Glenn is trying so hard to remain in character. Like, you are
Keeping you in it.
Disney princess strong over at Disney World. Like, you are like, the legal team was watching with 3 different camcorders. You did not break character at all. And meanwhile, I'm like, hey, Pluto, let's go smoke a joint.
Charlemagne.
My name is
Yes.
Sipsian. Do we have to give the scroll up to save Vol?
No, you do not. I do not. The scroll is of less importance than giving it up. You do not need to give it up to save your friend. I found out where he is.
Why do they want my scroll?
I don't know. May I see it? I might be able to tell you if I know something. I'm adept at the arcane arts.
You see my neck snap over as I look over at Magdor, and I mouth the words, he can fucking teleport. Don't.
I mean, you do not have to give it to me. If it will make you feel more comfortable, I could just see it. And if it is an artifact that I recognize, I could tell you.
I start throwing on my cloak at this point.
What about after?
I could tell you why they are after it. I will not be able to talk to you afterwards. I can tell you where he is, and then I have to leave.
But you can't help us rescue him.
No, I have to maintain my cover within the organization. I have been sheltered here by the Arcane Brotherhood, and he says, you know, the large tower on the north coast of the city. That is the Arcane Brotherhood's tower. And they have taken me in as a refugee, someone escaping persecution, and I have helped them by infiltrating the coin spinners. And
all right. If this is okay,
gave up this information.
If this is okay with Mary, here's what I propose. You are going to tell us where Vol is. And in return, we'll give you 2 days before we start hunting you.
You are still going to hunt me?
We have a job to do.
Could you challenge the Arcane Brotherhood?
Sure as I'll try.
Can I try to take the coin that hopefully Simpson was holding out?
How would you like to do this?
Just slowly reach for it and see if he tries to like hold it away like a child's toy that he's very fond of.
He just flicks it. he flicks it away from. He flicks it as soon as you start to kind of reach for it, and he says, "Apparently, this coin means nothing. You can have it back. I would never take a friend in, and you said I was a friend, Magdor.
How do we know we can trust you?
You don't, but your friend will be dead if you do not.
Magdor, do we want him to roll a new character sheet? I don't know. Same character
Well-
over there, Gaston.
I want
Let
to do
me
the
s-
right thing, but if you will not give me something in return that will allow me to live in peace, I cannot help you."
Let me see that coin.
Magdor,
Oh.
he's the very reason why as I toss him the coin, he's the very reason why we're here in the first place.
But
Technically,
is it
he's
worth? Is it worth it to lose Vol?
Who sent
To
you?
lose your father?
Don't say that.
Isn't he your father?
Don't say that, Magdor. That's not your right.
This is a tense moment, and I do not know how to respond. Um, but who sent you to find me? I was simply told
Who
that
was
there
it?
were people seeking me, and the only ones who seemed to ping, for lack of a better term, on my radar were you.
You do
We-
realize,
You were involved with the city guard, and you were looking for things.
Magdor, you need to remember he's the same person. And like I still got like a hand loosely towards Simpson at this point. The same person who had a bunch of goons try to kill us.
I sent no people to kill you. Why would I do
Deep.
this? I did not know you existed until yesterday.
The bandits of Neverwinter.
The bandits that patrol the roads and sometimes attack people that are traveling? Yes, I totally planned that.
I'm gonna look at him with a bit of bewilderment. Can I insight that?
Hmm. Absolutely.
I'm sure you're excited for me to. 16.
Yeah, no, he didn't plan that.
The ninjas that swooped down and shanked me right in the thigh, almost Jim Carrey. Like I start snapping that finger. Magda, what's that Jim Carrey movie where he got two spears in both legs, kind of thing?
Lie.
No. I don't think it's that one. Not the
Eternal
cable
Sunshine
guy.
of the Spotless Mind?
Oh, I think we're getting warmer. Oh no, I just farted.
Jack and Jill.
Maybe. No.
Wait, that's Adam Sandler.
The second one was with Nature Calls.
Oh, it was Adventurer.
I
The Protective.
Spade
is it
Spade
Protective?
Spade Ventura. No, King Ventura.
Heart.
Heart, King of Heart Ventura. Oh, Ace.
Your friend is going to die soon. I need to know if you will trade with me. I understand that this movie is very important to you, but I would like to
So,
make sure.
Very
friends are-
important. I
trading-
need inspiration so I can drink more.
We're trading a life for a life, then.
Yes, that would be the deal. I will leave. It will be as if I never existed. You can say that I died. Or that you were simply not able to find me.
I can't promise Vol won't try something.
I did not capture Vol.
I'm gonna walk over to my obsidian dagger and I'm gonna stare hard into it and I'm like, a little guidance would be nice. Is not what you wanted?
And in your head, in a quiet voice, a little bit of like a kind of like hushed whisper, you hear, "What did I ask of you?"
As the player, I don't want to screw this up because I don't want to upset her. Can I remember what did she ask of me?
I believe it was simply that you find him.
Damn the pieces. Fuck. I just like when she says that, I just start like saying the word fuck.
Because it was, I believe it was like find him and prove your worth.
Fuck. I stand upright. I do a full 360, so I stay in the same spot, and then I do another 180 to. You know why it's called the Xbox 360 is. So I walk over to Simpson. I go, "You have a deal," and I reach arm forward.
And he cautiously at first, but then seeing your determination and your, like, you were just straight up steadfast forward about this, reaches forward and says, "Good. I need an agreement from both of you. Unfortunately, I'm glad that you've come to see reason because I do not want your friend to die, and I do not want to
What?
be brought back to Neverwinter.
What is with owls and needing
Who said
complete
anything about
consensual group?
Neverwinter?
I assume that you are from Neverwinter. Some of your coinage is from Neverwinter." And he shakes a bag and then gives it back to you. "And why would you be looking for me unless you were coming from the place that I had just fled?"
That's smart. All right, I'll make you a deal. Here, and I'm gonna shake his hand with the coin in the hand.
The friend
The-
coin?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, well, I can't promise Vol won't want to complete the job. This should at least get him off your tail if we do find you again.
This means something from both of you?
Yes.
I didn't kill you immediately, did it? Did I?
True. I will keep it. Just in case your friend Vol decides to get feisty and try and find me. I will try and reason with him as well. But
I mean, his favorite hunt is elves, so just don't give
Now,
him too much of a chase.
the last bit of business before
Is-
I tell you where Vol is may I see the scroll? I may be able to determine why they are seeking it.
I don't give a damn about that scroll, Magdor. You do what you want. As I'm like sitting there, like I'm angry, staring at, not angry at the Raven Queen, but angry that I have misinterpreted potentially a message, an order from somebody who I respect higher than everything else, and it's causing a like third level chess move. Nothing too crazy, but enough to dupe me where I realize that I've tricked myself. I'm a fool at my own game. I am angry.
Ba, ba, ba.
Can I ask you one thing?
Of course.
Can I have your word that I'll get it back?
I do not need to hold it. I just need to see it.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna pull it out and just.
Do you mind if I touch it while it stays in your hand?
Will I get it back?
I will not take it from your hand.
Right. Go ahead.
And he kind of like moves his hands over the runes and kind of like fiddles with a little bit of some of the moving mechanisms without he like moves them but like moves them back and forth so that they end in the same position they were, careful not to disturb its current state. And he says, "Oh yes, this is a dwarvish finding scroll. These are quite rare.
Aye.
I now know why they seek it. They are quite selfish, always looking out for themselves. They live under a veil of good faith and intention towards people, but they just they only care about themselves in the end of it. They have the veil is thin. It does not take long to get to the dirty side of them, but they are not terrible, just selfish. I do think once you find your friend Vol and report back that you did not find me here, I would recommend finding a way to protect this from magical scrying.
Before you go, Simpson, there was a reason I needed to find you. I don't know what that reason is anymore.
You were told by your benefactor, I assume, somebody who paid you to come and find me.
You could say that, yes, but I am a person of faith, if you will, and faith has driven me to you. Why?
Maybe because I was the only way you could save your friend. I do not know how you could have divined such details of the future, but I am the only way you could have saved him.
I'm gonna look like I guess I was technically Charlemagne this entire time, as I
Mhm.
like kind of slip back into my changeling form. I'm gonna skip actual half elf and I can go. Let us hope that's the reason.
Yes. Yes.
Now, where's Vol?
Oh, of course. There is to the north of this town, if you leave, a small house on the cliffside beaches. Um, Last I heard, he was being kept in this house. It is a roadhouse, if you will, a checkpoint, a safe house for their organization. It is not very ornate or well protected, but there will be some people there, so I would expect resistance. I know that that's the last place he was heard to be.
Right.
So if
All
you
right.
head out north of
We'll go
town
check
about
it out.
2 or 3 miles, go straight to the coast west, and then follow the cliffside, and you will eventually see it.
Can we ask you for one more favor?
It depends.
How do we get out of here without alerting the guards?
Oh,
Magdar,
I've
he
already
pointed
done
at. You did what? You did what? As I dropped the voice and I turned my head. What?
I took preemptive measures to make sure that we would be safe to talk in normal voices. You notice how at some point I was not whispering anymore. And he goes up to the door, and you now know that it's not locked anymore. And he opens it and he says, "See, I have put 2 chairs and they are sleeping." And they're just like sitting in the chairs, leaning against the wall, like holding their spears. And he says, "I have put them to sleep so that if you wanted to leave this way, you could. The ones out front are still awake because making them fall asleep would be a bit suspicious. But I would not imagine, as he closes the door, that it would be too long before those guards find that these guards are asleep. But I would recommend the window and keep the door locked. They will assume you have slept and you are asleep until morning."
Well, I did call you Solid Snake earlier, but it looks like we'll be the ones doing the sneak mission.
All
Do
right.
not
How long do you think we have?
sunrise, and it so you have 3 or 4 hours.
All right.
For
So we better get going now.
absolutely, I will do my best to remain hidden so that your claim of not being able to find me is well founded.
All right.
Why would Lord Never Ember want you dead?
Never Ember sent you? Oh, this has gone deeper. I it is spiraling. I thought this was problem that was within my own former organization. I would ask Neverember why he sent you. Ask him that question. Or I
Are you
assume it's possible that you may have already.
are you a part of the detachment of Drow?
You speak of Bregan de F.
I do.
Formally.
Why did you split off from them, if I may ask?
I do not agree with the direction that the organization is going. And when you know too much and you decide to leave, it seems as though their reach has no bounds. I did not know they could influence Neverember so much.
I
I,
think
I,
this is something we gotta figure out later, Knox. I think we have to go.
I will give you something so you can contact me. It will not give you a location, but I will be able to communicate with you.
yes.
No matter the distance.
What are your digits? I only usually text.
List. It is a small pebble known as a sending stone. I will give you one.
Straight
And
talk,
you can-
Virgin Mobile. I gotta be careful on the signal here. Coverage is terrible in some places.
Oh no! As long as you are on the same plane of existence, the signal will be clear.
Ah, so Verizon. Okay, cool. I don't gotta pay
Alright.
charge this thing because these can get costly. You know that, right?
I believe once per day you can use it.
Oh, you got the bare minimum plan.
Yes. Most
Well, I
sending
guess-
stones are this way.
All right, I'm
Alright,
done
let's
fucking
go.
this up.
I'm jumping out the window.
All right. And as you hop out the window, you're standing in the windowsill. What do you do, Knox?
I look at Simpson one last time and say, "See you soon, or not."
And he says, hopefully not. And he snaps his fingers as he smiles because, they have pretty pronounced canines. Drow are pretty definitive looking. He smiles at you for the first time at both of you, snaps his fingers, and disappears in a swirl of shadow.
My scroll's gone.
What?
I'm just kidding. Let's go.
I push him out the window.
And then you think again to look. You joked,
Look.
but you
Oh
know
yeah,
where
for the scroll. I look.
Yeah. You feel if it's there.
It's there.
You can
And
feel
then
it
I get
as I
pushed out
put.
the window.
Like I say, as
Pushed
I
out
try to shove him out the window. I
Okay.
believe it's a shove action. So
Yeah, the push or shove is athletics or
It's-
acrobatics against athletics.
much like
Or sorry, athletics. It's
my
for
athletics.
Magdor.
Yep.
Against
So-
an acrobatics or athletics for Magdor. So you can
Yep.
choose how you want to not fall.
Uh,
What'd you get?
my 7 athletics versus his.
18
Athletics or acrobatics?
acrobatics.
Okay, so he does push you, but you were able to deftly hop outside the window and then just land quietly and simply. You don't go too far. It's just like you were gonna go, so you might as well just choose how you fell out the window.
I thought you were gonna Charlie Brown me at first. I'm like, oh boy, roll for fall damage.
Roll down. And you can see now that you're outside, it's very late, so it's super dark, but it's after the point that the bars have closed, but not to the point where the sun started to kind of come up. And you can see now that you're standing out on this kind of like roof that leads out. It's like a porch that goes over the front entrance area, and you can hear the two guards out front underneath it talking.
Shh. We gotta be quiet.
I'll cast message. Backdoor con. Let's go sneaking.
Cool.
Alright, then we're gonna head up to how far we can.
So go ahead and make a stealth check to get away from the hotel without being heard
Okay.
from the
Uh,
scent sales.
Both
If
of
I-
us, or
Can I aloho mora my tunic into a skin tight cat suit, if you will?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. I don't think it
You
should
got
give
like
me
a
advantage.
spy onesie on.
Yeah, basically like a one piece track suit, essentially. You're
Yeah.
black. And yeah, okay. You want a stealth check? Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
What's the worst that could happen? That's the worst that could happen. Okay. What about you, Magdor? So,
I got a 16.
man, that tracksuit makes me look stealthy as hell, doesn't it? Blend right in. Maybe like it should give me okay, I got an 8, whatever.
So as you guys are going away, headed west, on the roof, you hop off of the roof, leading down to a lower one, and then down. And Magdor, you hop off onto a box. Uh, Nox, you hop onto a metal trash can on accident, and it just makes a bit of a clander. And you hear the two guards out front go, "Hey, what's that?" And then and one of them goes, "Oh, I'll check." And so you hear footsteps as someone is going to be approaching here in the next few seconds.
I cast minor illusion and I make it sound like there's a cat fight.
Yeah, it sounds like a cat fight for sure.
And I'll do that to try to
But the footsteps still start. They're gonna keep coming.
okay. I look at Magdor and I say,
Magdor, you're
Hi.
still visible. Like he could, if he comes around the corner, he's gonna see you.
I'm gonna use
Uh.
slip into shadow and get the hell out of there by slinking into the darkness.
How big's the box I landed on?
That's big enough you could hide behind it or something if you
All
want.
right, I'm gonna get in it.
Okay, yeah, you pull that. You're strong. You pull it up. Some of the tacks need to be kind of like pulled out of the wood, and you just hop in. And yeah, narratively, there's no reason why. And as soon as you kind of slip into the shadows, the cat fight kind of fades away. As it kind of disappears. Not suddenly, definitely gradually. And yeah, you being slipped into the shadows but still existing, see the guard turn around the corner. He's like, "Bloody cats," and then he just goes back.
I think eventually, like, I would slip back into existence right next to Magdor.
He's in the box.
I would be pressed against the box, and I would go, meow, 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 meow.
Fucking cats.
Shh, meow. We gotta go right meow, okay?
Oh. Safe?
I.
I'm gonna push open the box and crawl out.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
then go to Nox and say, all right, which way's north?
I don't have that feat. I really don't know.
All right, well, let's just head out.
You know you're on the south bank, and there's a river that divides the city. So if you find the river and go to the other side of it, you'll be headed north.
Need to cross the river.
Okay. Well, we know to the north. We know where clear. I mean, I would know where Clear Light is, so I would know that's technically to the north as well. So I
Clear
think
Light's on the north side of the south bank.
Hmm.
And technically the inn is actually further north than Clearlight is. It was
So-
actually to the southeast from
I think-
the inn.
I think it would be like safe to assume then that we'd have a general bearing on like what direction is to get to
Mhm.
north towards this
Yep.
safe house in the cliffs.
Yeah, all you gotta tell me is that you want to leave town north because there's like nobody else in town. There's like a couple guards walking around, but the only 4 that were supposed to be looking for you or work or guarding you specifically, 2 of them are asleep and 2 of them think you're in the room. So
Okay. I began doing the like the world's slowest equivalent of the dance move known as the worm, and I start slithering towards the north.
you're gonna worm through the town. There are still guards around.
I do it for 3 feet, and I say this is stupid, and then I start going.
I follow behind and agree.
So whap whap, this is dumb. Great. And then you head out of the town. And start to so you just follow his Sipsian's instruction and head like north for 3 miles and then head to the coast and then go continue north on the cliffs, or do you want to do anything else differently, or how would you like to approach this supposed safe house?
Yeah, that's fine. Get up as close to it as we can without being seen.
Right, like
Like you
I'm
said,
doing
if-
like tree the tree kind of thing.
Okay,
And
so
I'm
you are going to
following.
follow those instructions. So like follow 3 miles north, then head west to the cliffs, and then
Yeah, because we don't know what to. Yeah.
Okay. So once you get the cool thing about these cliffs is that there are patches of kind of like smallish trees and not a lot of rocks, but the cliffside is sheer. Like it is probably a 50 or 60 foot drop to the beach. Looks like there's a little bit of a beach out there, and maybe a few caves and stuff down there, kind of as you look over and continue. But
Yeah.
most of the trees here are not huge. There's just patches of bush, and it's pretty flat. So probably about a mile away, you can see the lights of a small house as you've kind of traced your way tree to tree, bush to bush up this cliffside. And you could presume that's it. He did say it was not a massive place, not super nice, probably not well guarded, but still people. And you can see a few people moving around inside, couples sitting on the porch with lights on inside. But they're active, and it seems to match the location and description. But you're about a mile out.
The last few feet, I immediately resumed the warm stealth of position, saying, "Perfect."
At the house, you think?
Only one way to find out, Magdor.
You're gonna worm up to the house?
No, I'm gonna do it for another 3 feet, and I'll say this is
Okay.
stupid, and I'll get back up again.
How did you hide from that guard earlier?
You never just try to hide, and all of a sudden you just magically dissipate into shadows?
No.
Huh.
Bless
Must
your
be
heart, Magdor. No.
Must be a changeling thing.
Can you do it again?
Sure, you want to wait an hour?
So how do we get in?
Well, I didn't think we were gonna get this far before we needed to take a break from any particular reason, but do I see how many guards do I see?
Are they just like people? They don't look like guards. They don't have a couple of them have like daggers. It looks like if you get close enough, you can see that it looks like a lodge or a cabin of some sort. Like people live here. There's some hunting weaponry inside on the walls, but no more than a couple short swords and some daggers for cleaning. It looks like these are probably hunters that live here.
gonna-
People that live off the land. They've got a little cropped plot set off to the side with some makeshift stone walls around it to keep the little critters out.
I'm gonna worm up to Knox or wiggle up to Knox, and I'm gonna look at them, and say, "Blast them."
Magdur, if there's one thing that we should lastly consider, these might just be regular hunters and we could be being duped right now. Should we kill them in cold blood?
My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes.
Then how about you blast them with... Tell you what. And I am going to pull out my light crossbow that I've never used a day in my life. But hey, I guess I still have it, you know. Hey, wow. Where did this come from? And how close are we at this point?
I'd say comfortably you got within about 200 feet. So you can still see things, the lay of the land, hear distant conversations, but without stealthing more, you're gonna have to, or to get closer to oh my god, to get more information, you're going
We
to
have
have
to
to
duel. I
duel.
like it.
Yeah,
I'm in.
yeah.
I think I would want to stealth to get within like maybe let's say 100 feet just to see what happens. Maybe 60 feet.
Okay, so which one would you like to do? 100 or 60?
Let's do 60. Let's get within 60 feet behind a tree line or something like
You want to
that.
go, Magnor?
Yeah, I'm
You want
following.
to stay back? Okay, so both of you make stealth checks.
What's the worst? Can I use my inspiration on this? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I didn't need it, but I got a 20.
Nice.
I got a 7.
Great. Yeah. There's a few times where Magdor's about to step like on a big ass, like dry piece of wood, like a long dry stick, and you just like keep him from stepping on them because you are doing such a good job stealthing for yourself that you help maintain that stealth with that good of a check. You're able to help him as well, like maintain silence. So there's a few sounds, and you see from Magdor, but they're not loud enough to merit anyone going out. You see one of the guys on the porch kind of look out, and then just you see them write it off as like an animal or something, but they don't. So they do hear something, but they don't hear enough to deem it necessary to go check out. It should be noted too, there is a male and a woman, a man and a woman on the front porch, and it looks like inside there is a younger teenage boy and like an older man.
Nox is getting more hesitant about this with every chance to get closer, and I'm gonna message Magdor at this point, going, "This just looks like a random family."
Do you think we should just go up and talk to him?
You know, every time that we've done something that's social interaction, I like to think that I'm the expertise in this, but it's more. I want to say it's more funnier when you go in, but Vol is on the line here. They're standing guard.
They're not holding weapons. So
But
if
they're
they're standing guard, they're doing a bad job.
Either of them,
Standing there.
let's say, either of them like smoking cigarettes, just kind of talking with each other.
Yeah, they have pipes.
Oh man,
they
you
are
know,
enjoying
my
pipes and,
day
like,
job
drinking
is
beer.
terrible. Good thing I retire tomorrow. Kind of situation. It's like, ugh.
I was 2 days from retirement.
One last thing I want to test out. I am going to try to cast message to Vol.
It's just, what is the range on it?
120 feet.
Doesn't connect with them.
Can I interpret that as a way to realize that he's not within range?
He's not within 120 feet of you in any given direction. In a bubble. In the
And
center.
I try to cast message.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. Yeah, sorry.
Huh?
I try to cast message, realize that Vol is not in this house, and I look over at Magdor. I look at the house again. I look at Magdor, and I'm gonna Alohomora myself.
Oh,
Yes.
you have to point your finger towards a creature within range, so you can't even target him unless you can point at him.
You can cast this spell through solid objects if you're familiar with the target and know it is beyond the
Oh.
barrier.
Oh, okay. What about 1 foot of stone, inch of metal? Yeah, so yeah, it still doesn't work.
Or
And
3
3
feet
feet,
of wood.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
I can't tell if you're giving me like red herrings at this point, whether or not to interpret this as Vol not being in this house.
It is absolutely me just trying to make sure that I don't give you false information. No red herrings. I tend not to do that.
They don't look armed. What do you say we just go up and talk to them?
Magdar, you stay here. And I'm going to Aloha Mora and turn into a half elf form, my form. And I am going to leave my light crossbow next to Magdor, and I'm just going to start to walk nonchalantly up to them.
Sweet, 2 crossbows.
Too bad you only have one hand.
Could
You
dual
hook
wield
it into the
crossbows with
nub.
The dual wield feet.
You might need cross. You might need. I think you might need the crossbow expert feat because otherwise, they have the loading property, that sort of thing. Anyway,
Oh
so
yeah.
you leave the safety of this, well hidden position and start walking towards them. About 30 feet away, they kind of turn up and say, "Oh, hello, traveler, coming from the city," and they continue to smoke their pipes.
I'm going to cast light from my hand just to give some visibility upon myself, just to show that I'm
Okay.
unarmed and not a threat. And I go, yes, I was told I was meeting a friend up here. Forgive me, I'm a little lost with directions. Have you
We
seen...
don't get many visitors, but
I'm looking for a Goliath.
noble Goliaths around here. I think if you go further into the mountains, you may be able to find one. And at that point, the door kind of swings open as you see an older man who looks like probably one of these two people's father,
Yeah.
as if maybe they're married and that's one of their dads. And then there's a kid, but the kid has a different colored hair than any of them. And he runs out and he's got like a toy sword and he says, "Halt, invader!" And he's probably 8 or 9 years old.
So
Blast 'em.
don't... I'm going to say don't cast Firebolt. Okay. I go, not today. Are you... What is the name of this group? The Queen...
Coin spinners.
Are you friends of the Queen Spinners?
In that moment, you see the all of the adults look kind of confused, but the kid goes, "What's a coin spinner?"
I have this dopey ass look on my face as I realize that we were this close to potentially obliterating a random family home. And I kind of like stop and I'm going to point behind me and say, I don't think this is the right place.
Yeah, get out. No coin spinners here. Ah! And then he hits his grandpa in the shin, or at least the older man. And the kid's like, "Oh, you brat! I'll get you for that!" And he chases him back in the house.
5 gold, I'll take him out. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know you didn't say that. It's fine.
And oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't. May I sit?
May I what?
Sit.
You're talking to them. Sorry, I thought you were talking
Yes.
to me. And I was like, yeah. Oh, of course. Come on up. And they pull out one of the chairs off to the side and they sweep it off. Had some like leaves on it because fall. And they set it off to the side and they pull theirs off and they say, "Please sit. Would you like some tobacco? A pipe?"
At this point, Nox is crying. Nox has been frustrated, trying to follow Magdor, try to follow the law, try to follow Simpson at this point, and so far it's led to nothing but dead ends. And Nox is crying. They're frustrated.
Oh. Come,
They're
come,
sad.
come, sit. What's wrong?
I'm missing my dad.
Your father's missing.
He's been gone for the whole day, and I can't find him.
Oh.
He's been kidnapped. I've been told
Listen,
left
I'm
and right.
sure- Kidnapped? Oh,
He's-
come now. Our boy lost their father, and we adopted him. Surely somebody will take you in.
It
He used to be
doesn't.
a street rat on the city.
And I look at them, and you see that the chair that I'm sitting on, the arm suddenly turns to ash as I look and I say, he's probably dead.
At this point, it's obvious that they don't know what to say to you, and you just incinerated the arm of one of their chairs, and they're
Oh,
just
yeah,
I've
oh,
heard
yeah.
that too.
and they're very they're like, whoa, we don't want any trouble. And they
And-
start to step back and move towards the door, and they're like, you can just sit there as long as you want.
I've heard that too when he said he's probably dead.
Oh yeah, you're like 60
Alright.
feet away. You're hearing
At
this
this
whole
point,
conversation.
I'm running up. What do you mean he's dead?
Nothing.
And at this point, both of them are like holding their pipes with their hands in the air, and you see inside now the kid is like hiding, huddled in a corner with the grandfather, and the kid's still holding his sword, and he looks resolute, but all the adults look very worried about everything that's happening right now around their little cottage.
Do they not have Vol here?
No, Meg.
Nobody. We don't have anybody.
And at this point, like, I'm probably falling off the chair, like, both hands on the porch, and you see that they're like singe marks are coming from the hand at this point as I'm starting to lose control over my ability, and I'm starting to freak out.
Please just
And
leave. Don't burn the house down. Please just leave.
Agdor, get me out of here.
Don't you think it's kind of weird that they're up this late?
I look at Magdor, and losing rationality, his words, my character flaw is I believe whatever somebody I trust. And I look at him and I go, they're lying.
No,
Can you do me a favor? And I'm gonna
Us?
kind of no, I'm looking at Knox and be like, come here. I'm gonna whisper in Knox's ear. Be like, do you have a minor illusion?
You want me to do?
Throw the scroll off the cliff.
I'm going to reach into Magdor's fur cloak. I'm going to cast Minor Illusion and pull out what looks like the scroll in my hand. And I'm going to say,
Wait, what are you doing with that?
I don't think this is going to do us any more good. And I am going to walk towards the cliffside. Clearly
It's like 30
bewildered.
or 40 feet from where you're currently standing, but you could easily throw it over the edge if you wanted.
And thank you, Glenn, for giving us some flexibility on a minor illusion and all that stuff. I understand.
Yeah. It can look like it if anybody touched it. You're just holding your hands like this, I assume, and then it's there. So yeah.
And I'm going to make the motion of spear tossing this thing into the ocean.
No, we need that.
And all of the people look very confused as you do this, but then as you throw it and it falls over the edge, the kid who is being like protected by the older person opens the door and saunters out and he says, "Now you've done it."
What?
That was gonna save his life. And the
Whose
parents,
life?
the older people are like, "What are you talking about?" And he just snaps his fingers, and both of them just kind of like department store doll, kind of like straighten up. And he says, "That was your friend's ticket, and now we're gonna have to kill him."
You're going to stand there and tell us everything you know as I turn around and cast suggestion on him.
No. Wait, what's the save for that?
uh,
14?
well, I didn't hear a dice roll, so I'm guessing it's a 15 you just rolled.
Oh no, I rolled the dice, but I thought you had said 14 before.
Yes.
Okay, cool. My memory was correct. And he goes, "No, I'm not going to tell you anything. You're going to go down there on the beach and get that scroll back for me, and then I'll tell you whatever you want to know."
Magdor, magic is not going to influence him.
But my hammer will.
Yes, it will.
Sure, hit me. You'll never find him. Kill me. Do it. And you can tell this is like a 9-year-old kid, but he's just hard as fuck. Like they weren't lying when they said they adopted a kid from the streets. And he says, "Listen, I want that. Well, not me, but we want that. And you want your friend. Just give us the scroll, man. It's that easy."
You go get the scroll. Show us our friend.
I'll show you your friend when you hand me the scroll. How about that? I'll even go down to the beach with you. We'll get it.
Where's our friend being held?
I'm not going to tell you until I have the scroll.
He's not here.
Hold the cards right now. Oh, he's here. He's somewhere nearby. But nearby is kind of a relative term, isn't it? The town's nearby, the ocean's nearby.
What's the scroll made out of?
It's metal and ceramic mixed medium.
Knox. Sorry, I didn't say that. Mary. I've got another idea. Then I'm gonna reach into my
I was
cloak.
gonna say, Nox does not say anything. They're looking forward off the cliff, trying to figure out whether or not they're going to kill a child tonight.
Yeah, so you threw it. But now that you're looking that direction again, you can see that there's a path that you didn't recognize before since you don't have dark vision. Now that you're looking there for a more prolonged amount of time, there is a path that leads to what looks like a pathway down. But, Magdor.
I'm gonna start reaching into my cloak. Pull out the scroll.
Oh,
Look at the kid.
You cheeky monkey. Nice, gimme.
No. First, you take us to our friend. I have the scroll.
Fine, you've got the scroll. Let's go. And
All
he
right.
says, "Follow me." And he heads towards where you're at currently, Nox, and walks past you and says, "Just down the hill here. Cliff, more like, but just stay close. It's a pretty tight path. If you fall, you're dead." So, and he kind of goes out, and as you fall, do you follow him? As you fall, like that path?
I do.
Nox knows this is a trap 100%. Nox has tears still running down their face. And I think Nox is going to take out his dagger. Their dagger.
Cool.
Are you saying that?
Take out the dagger.
Hesitate.
Well, if you went straight down, you wouldn't have seen that hesitation. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, his intentions are known only to their intentions are only known to them as they waited to go down last. The kid walks down there, he's still holding that like wooden sword, and he puts it in like a little leather loop on his belt. Walks down, it kind of switchbacks down. Very oddly, if you looked at this from the side, you probably wouldn't see this path. You can only see it from above, as it uses the natural features of the cliffside to move organically down the cliff. And eventually it comes down, and there's like I said, along the beach, the beach is probably only 15, 20 feet in some places. Other places it goes out to 60 or 70, kind of ebbing with the tide and the shape of the cliff and the shoreline. And there's some caves you can see along it. And he says, "Okay, so you lied through the scroll in an attempt to try and get me to come out, which I did. Bravo. I take the scroll now and I tell you where to find your friend."
I'm gonna look back at Nox.
How far down are they at this point if I haven't moved?
Oh, you just stayed at the top?
Probably for a little bit, yeah.
Now it
Like,
is like 70 or 80 feet up from the shore to the top of the cliff, and it's switchbacked. So it's probably, if you were trying to map out how long it would take you to get down, it's probably about 200 plus feet, right around 200 feet of movement to get down this cliffside.
I think at this point I would be looking down the hill, this cliffside, and I would say the words corrosive in my head as the crow out of its pocket dimension rematerializes back into my shoulder. And I'm going to take the blade and I'm going to lightly run it down from where my wrist first had the rune and just run it a little bit longer. I say, my blood is yours, as I give blood to the dagger. And I am going, yeah.
I mean, so you're cutting your wrist?
Just running a little bit down, just to give it an extra extension. I'm trying to offer some kind of like sacrifice to my patron.
Yeah, you cut yourself in order to try and, say your patron, give them something you think that they want, you know, a little bit of a sacrifice of yourself for them. Um, and the cut itself burns, and you hear in your head, "Do not hurt yourself. I have always said that your safety is the most important thing to me. And if you harm yourself, again, it will be more than a searing pain."
Speaking out of the character, this reminds me of a scene from the second book, I believe, of the Twilight series. If you guys remember the scene where Bella jumps off the cliff, only for Edward to save her at the last second. Sorry for making a parody of that. I'm sorry, Mother.
And you
I
look
thought
down at your wrist, kind of where, as you apologize, and that the cut itself, as it sears, like kind of like evaporates, and the cut is gone, and you have not taken damage from this.
Well, apparently giving myself to you is a little bit more complicated than I thought. Sometimes I misread the signals, you know? I'm going to Brandon, you keep freaking me out every time you do that, and it messes with me every single time. For the audio listeners, he keeps like he's been wearing this crocheted beard, and all he shows is like the top of his teeth, and it just looks like he's a woodchuck at this point, and it's messing with me hardcore. Uh, as a player, I have no idea what to do here. Like,
You're standing a long
Have
distance.
you-
At this point, you're about between the path and the distance that they've moved out on the beach. You're about 250 feet away of movement, but only about 100, 115 feet, 110 feet away from like actual distance.
so far, this episode, I've felt a sense of powerlessness that I've been trying to gain some kind of control over any step of the way that I can, and so far, it's backfired essentially. So like as the character, it's like I have absolutely no control of the situation, and I realize that I've been trying to do everything to make sure that Magdor keeps his scroll, which I do not care about. Nox gives no shits about this scroll, which is understandable given the character, but at the same time does not believe for a single second that once this scroll is exchanged, Vol is going to come back safe. And so Nox doesn't know what to do. I think Nox is going to stay up there.
Okay, Nox stays up there, and he says, "I'm not giving you the. I need this, or I mean, I need the scroll, but I don't. Why is he staying up there?
He does his own thing.
It's kind of freaking me out. He's a little weird up there.
Yeah, he's a little strange, but he's got a good heart.
Hey, so you give me the scroll and I show you where Vol is.
You show me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna hold the scroll out for a second, hand it to him, then
Let me know when you let go.
sit there for a second, yeah,
Hey,
and then let go.
come on, man. Okay, thanks. Go in that cave. And he points to the cave nearby where there's a little bit of there's a little bit of kind of a bay on the beach where the water kind of runs in. But the water doesn't go all the way into the cave. It just kind of comes out front. He's like, right there. He's inside. You guys made this super weird. He starts to walk south down the beach.
Before he gets too far away, I'm
Mhm.
going to use heat metal
On
on the
what?
scroll.
Do you have to be able to see it?
Yeah. Did he
'Cause
hide it?
he put it in his cloak, or he was gonna just be holding it, looking at it, since he's walking away from you. But you can't see it.
Not the
Unless you wanna
metagame.
reposition yourself or something.
Didn't he say that he was going to show where Vol is? He's only shown a cave so far.
Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah, but he didn't show Vol.
All right.
He's not a devil, so he can't like hold him to like a power contract or anything like that. But
I can't kill a kid.
unless Nox is
He's probably- we'll say he's
making
about 4 feet away from you now. 40 feet away, just walking down the shore.
I'm just gonna kind of look down because there's nothing I can do. Look up at Nox. Could I yell loud enough that Nox would hear?
Mhm.
All right. I'd be like,
It would sound kind of quiet, but you would hear it.
all right. I'm gonna look up and see. Done. Go. That's enough.
I didn't hear what you said.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, I was
sorry.
like, what did you say?
Do you
Said
speak
it's
Dwarven to me again?
It's done. Let's go.
I don't see Vol, so I keep an eye across the cliff, looking down at this kid scaring across the sand.
Kid's just walking.
All right.
He's about
Gonna
80
turn
feet
in
away
and
now.
walk into the cave.
Yeah, you walk into the cave, and you see what looks like it goes in, and there's like a cave like tunnel that kind of turns and twists a little bit, but eventually it comes to this open room that has several exits, and a single like hanging lantern in the room. And in one corner of the room is a cage that looks like it's open, an open, unlocked cage, door open, and like a chest that's been flown open, and there's nothing in it. There is a table with 2 chairs next to it. Nobody's at them. And then a couple. I think there's an exit to the right, or a tunnel exit to the right, and another one to the left. And then there's like 3 exits from that main cavern.
All right. Is there anything in the cage?
Nope.
Anything in the chest?
No.
So you said there were 2 exits still?
No. Other than 2 exits other than the one you came in. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm gonna look around the room and see if there's anything else I can notice.
All right. So go ahead and make a check of whatever type you'd like to do. So if you want to like look for secret traps, if you want to try and do a perception check to find something specific, just choose what you'd like to do.
I'm just gonna look around and see if there's anything that looks like bowls.
That it's something that looks like it would have belonged to Vol.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. Yeah. And Nox, what are we doing? Just he's been out of sight for now about 5 minutes, and the kid's gone.
If I would have saw him go out of sight, I would have told Krosiv to follow him.
Corrosive does that. How long
And
do
I
you want
rolled.
Corrosive to follow him? Just
Follow him until he disappears from sight. Like he walks into a building or just otherwise gets out of Corrosive's view. Because Corrosive's not perfect, perception and all.
yeah, follow him until you can't see him anymore.
Like,
sure.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I rolled an 18 for perception.
Cool. Was there anything else you wanted to do? He's out of sight. Corrosive's following him. You're just gonna stand on top of the cliff, or did you want to go back to the house? Do you want to go down the cliff, or are you gonna just stay there?
I think I would go back and feeling a little guilty, check on the family. But I scared.
The family is all like just still standing, like at attention, kind of blankly staring forward. The grandfather is inside, kind of just like looking outside. Like he was confused because they were all kind of wary of what was going on, but he's now just once again standing inside, just looking deadpan, no direction.
They said that there was a drow that could convince people to listen to him and do what he says. I'm just saying this out loud to myself as I'm like looking at him. And it's like enchantment, purely magic. And like I'm gonna try like the lift an arm and whatnot, just to do the usual test. I'm assuming they don't respond to anything I do.
Nope. They do like they're not like rigid, so they're standing purposefully, but like if you move their arm, they'll move it and then they'll just like it doesn't like flop back down. They just like move it back to the same position.
Do I see anything that belongs to this kid?
I mean, you can do a check inside of the house. The house is very simple. If you kind of open the door, it's got like a couple beds, couple dressers, some cleaning table where they look like they clean their food.
I got a 4. I don't see anything. I
mean, there's not much to see, honestly. You couldn't have missed anything if you wanted to in there. It
Okay.
doesn't require a roll to see that there's nothing in this place aside from that.
Shell companies. As I start running down, like I keep randomly shooting firebolt in the air like every 6 seconds, like just to burn off extra rage. As I run down to technically, I don't know if I even saw which cave Magdor went into.
You did see where the kid pointed, and Magdor walked in the same direction when he went towards whatever.
Plus, I guess if it was in the sand, it would be safe to say that there was footprints.
Yeah, it's not been long enough for the tide to rise and cover those up. Yeah, you see exactly where it went.
These are very large, heavy. There's a drop of alcohol. Yep, these are Magdors. As I go into the cave with just trying to find Magdor at this point. I'm still convinced Devol is not here and this was a complete trap. After what I feel like I was bamboozled by Simpson at this point. So I'm just kind of like, Magdor,
Hi.
you see anything?
I don't know. I rolled an 18.
Yeah, you do find something in the ground in the sand when he yells this in. When you hear them yell at you from outside, are you continuing to walk in as you yell in?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I just didn't know if you like stopped outside. So cool. As you continue in, but you reach, you're kind of like checking in the sand, and in the sand around the cage, you actually find what looks like something that was like an impromptu lockpick was fashioned, and it's broken, and it was buried in the sand. It fell in the sand, and some sand fell over it. You find it, and you're like, this may be how he got out.
This may be how he got out.
Whoever was in this cage may have used this to get out of said cage. Whether or not it was Vol, meh.
Are you caught
As
up
you
to me now,
arrive.
Nox?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I'd be walking up to your side, just looking around, saying, "I hear Magdor, like usual."
We gotta keep going. I'll let you pick, left or right.
And as you say that, you're like, oh, we got to keep going. I'll let you pick. you hear what sounds like movement from the southern tunnel, as if someone kind of accidentally like scraped the wall with something. Something touched, like hit the rocks in there.
Did
Yeah, it's
Megdor
probably
take
nothing. Let's go the other way.
my crossbow?
We'll say you picked it up.
I picked it up. When I
Yeah,
said, ooh,
got
2
it.
crossbows, I picked it up.
All right.
Okay.
I'll grab it from him if he'll let me. Load up a crossbow bolt, and I'm going to cast a light on it, and then I'm going to shoot it down that tunnel.
So you both are looking down this tunnel as you shoot that down there to try and get sight on this, or what are you? I know
Yes.
that's what you're doing, Nox. Magdor, are you kind of keeping an eye out as well?
I'm going to look through the other tunnel.
Okay. Yeah, you don't hear anything coming from the other tunnel at all. And you shoot this, and it looks like the tunnel kind of curves off. So it bounces off a wall about like 20 feet down as it curves a little bit to this, a different direction. So if you wanted to seek that sound out, you may have to go a little further in.
There's nothing over on this side. How about you?
Do I see any tracks that look like they could be of a Goliath or a human that lead into
Go
these
ahead and make a
tunnels?
survival check.
I'm going to try to mimic Vol to see if I can't do the last bits of my training with him. But I got a 7. I'm rolling bad now.
You do see what you do see is that there are tracks all over here. The most recent ones are to this southern chamber, but they're all over the place. Some of them look a little larger, but none of them look definitively Goliath. Just because it's sand. It's a little harder to tell. But definitely somebody has been down this tunnel recently.
You want to take the left one, and I'll take the right one?
I think we should probably both go down the same one.
Okay.
Let's head down this tunnel. We heard the noise.
Nox
Probably
is clearly defeated at this point, and just kind of like ends the light spell on the bolt. Doesn't bother to retrieve it, and just kind of follows somberly behind Magdor.
Yeah, you head south through the southern tunnel, the one where you heard the sound. And you get to the end of it. It kind of like snakes for a little while, and you don't find anything. It looks like they're on the sand. There are some impressions on the sand as if somebody had used this place to put a bedroll down at one point, and there's a little bit of the remnants of and ashes of a fire that's long been put out. It's not even sort of warm anymore. But that's the only thing that's in the end. A small chamber at the end, probably another 15, 20 feet down.
I think at this
Well-
point, the color of my skin starts to look kind of blue at this point. Just like as I slowly creep into what feels like a bit of a depression, and I'm just like slowly just kind of like melding away.
We heard something here. I did. Did you?
Maybe Magdor. What's the point?
There's got to be something here. So you said we're in a room, right?
Yeah, it's like the end of it. It's like the end of a tunnel that's a little wider than the entry tunnel.
There's got to be something here. Check under the bedroll. I'm gonna search the walls.
The sand is matted down as if there was.
Oh,
a bed recently.
okay.
Yeah, but you can do some checks around the room, see if you can find anything of note for sure.
Yeah.
I listen
look
to
around.
him, and I like walk over, dragging my feet in the sand as I cast minor illusion to create a bedroll to lift up. I look under and go, nope, he's not under here.
He's Eoring right now.
I'm gonna kind of look around the wall and the floor and see if I can see anything that like fell or seems out of place.
Okay.
That be perception?
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, can I help him? But it doesn't matter.
I rolled a 5.
5. It's not hard to see the weird thing that's out of place because all of the rocks in here seem to be sand. There's not really just rocks. And when you get a little closer to, because like I said, it went to the south and then turned a little bit. And where it turned, it kind of went immediately and turned into that chamber. Right near the place where that tunnel enters into this chamber, you find on top of the sand a rock that looks like it was not just dropped. It didn't fall off. It wasn't falling from the ceiling. It and the reason why you notice this is because you know how like when you chuck limestone at something, it leaves residue, like it leaves a
Sure.
mark on there or whatever. Basically, you can see that this thing hit something very recently, so it was probably thrown.
What's the matter, Magdor? What are you looking
Look.
at?
A rock.
I cast Firebolt at the rock.
It's in his hand. It's only about this big.
I rolled a
Size of an
12.
egg.
Do I hit the
I
rock?
mean, yeah, you hit the rock, you knock it out of his hands, and it no longer has the mark from before. It's now just charred, and it gets knocked out of your hand. And when it hits the wall, it makes the same sound that you heard from here previously.
What kind of sound was it?
The sound now you know of a rock hitting the walls of these tunnels and echoing a little bit.
It's probably a trap, Magdor. They probably threw it to lure us further in so they could trap us to our death. But that's
Who
okay.
threw it, though?
Probably,
If you think about who threw it, where did they go?
probably in the other tunnel, Magdor.
All right, let's go check.
If that's what you
Yeah,
want, does it really matter though, Magdor?
So you head back, Magdor. with your
Actually,
friend.
before I head back, I'm gonna grab Mary by I guess her hips because I don't know if I can reach her shoulders.
Who's
gonna
married?
grab her and I'm
Magdor?
gonna look
We're
up-
alone.
I'm gonna say, listen, we have to find out if Vol is alive or dead. Because I don't know about you, but not knowing is worse than knowing for me. Because I can't imagine letting a friend sit and suffer waiting for us. If it's a trap and we die, then it's likely Vol's dead too, and what's the point for any of us then? I think we need to keep going and try to find him. And if he's dead, I'll kill you myself if you want.
I look down and I say, nah, I'll kill you first.
I'd like to see you try. We've already tried it once. It didn't go well for you.
No, our spar match was very, very discombobulated. You had the edge. But we should follow. It's just a phase, Magdor. I'll be fine.
All right. Well, let's phase into something else and go.
I don't know what that means. What is phasing?
You like turn into somebody? Somebody a little less you?
Does that mean I can turn into a new personality? I look
I
up.
don't know.
I'm like completely 90 degrees, and like I kind of like look up, all like creepy, like looking at him. Are you sure?
Why don't you try?
Alohomora. As it turns into adventuring gear, a la Indiana Jones style, and I will turn into my mountain dwarf persona I have it spelled as F-A-U-T, fought, and then B-U-S-T-E-R-D, bustard. I will turn into fought busted, and I go, I know these mountains like the back of my hand. Let's go find Vol.
Yeah, let's go find Vol. I'm just gonna start marching off.
You wouldn't know your way around the back ass side of an anthill. Why would you be here in a mountain, boy?
To look for a friend.
We've gone into dreadier places, but we'll get them. Follow me. As I pull out my rapier that I do not have. I just pull an invisible rapier. And I'll start marching as like some kind of like, this is I believe in the stage of grief. This is denial. So Bustard is gonna charge forward, waddling as fast as I can, and he's gonna tap this non-existent hat. Well, I guess maybe the clothes can create some kind of hat. I'm gonna try to create using light to create some kind of like headlamp. Glenn's like, okay, whatever, we'll do whatever you want. Just keep moving.
Whatever you want. Yeah, it's all you, man. You guys are the players. I don't choose this shit. This is lovely.
I'm gonna start walking, but then I'm gonna pick up the sprint, and then I'm gonna try to go into a full-on sprint into the other tunnel, just shouting, "I am the king of the mountain, and there's nothing you girls can do about it."
You do that.
I do that.
Into the northern tunnel, and you charge in with your makeshift magical headlamp and see nothing once again. But there is another chest that has been opened and emptied.
Fuck! It didn't work, Magdor.
I don't know anymore.
I'm gonna look squinty eye at this open chest. Do I see anything that makes it chesty like? Does it look suspicious?
It looks like a chest.
I'm gonna cast Firebolt at it because at this point I don't care. I cast Firebolt at worse things.
Yeah, it starts to burn. Catches on fire.
I'm gonna shout, "Hello!" To the echoes.
The echoes respond, and your voice in echo.
I'm gonna walk back to the central chamber and just leave him to do what he's doing.
Okay. Yeah, you get back to the central chamber as he screams,
"Hello! Hello?"
My roommate is basically yelling, so give me a second.
It's okay. I'm yelling too. Hello.
I know, but it's so loud that it's coming through on my mic. Anyway,
I'm shouting at this point just out of like pure defiance. I knew I heard something in this room, but I don't see anything.
Oh, this room you didn't hear anything from.
Oh, which tunnel did we go down that
The
the
other
rock was? Oh, really? I thought
That
we
was
did
the
the
first
opposite.
Fireball.
No, you went down the one where you heard the sound first.
Oh, well, shit. I made the
It
connection.
was implied that the rock was the sound you heard hitting the wall. Yep. Remember, you firebolted it out of his hand, and I said the rock hits the wall, which is now the sound that you heard before.
I'm gonna march right back into that room again. Full sprint. But ah.
So Magdor, yeah, you go back to the central chamber, and he charges right back past you into the southern chamber. Just, what are you gonna do?
I
As
got
he
ya.
runs past you?
I'm gonna sit in the cage.
You sit down in the cage.
We're like prisoners of our own devices. We're trapped. We can't leave.
And then you go to the southern chamber where you heard the sound, now remembering that this is where it came from, and it's exactly as you left it.
Okay. at this point, I'm gonna spread eagle face first into the sand, and I'm just gonna do a sand angel just for good measure because no one's looking. Anyways, then I get upright and I'm gonna use minor illusion to mimic that sound again.
You make the sound again, and Magdor, you hear the same sound come from the southern chamber.
On hearing that sound, I'm gonna walk up and go back.
Does the room
And-
sound like it's making the same echo as the other room, or does it seem like this echo is louder?
I mean, if you mimic that sound, it's the same sound. So exactly
If
the
I
same.
if I throw the charred rock when I pick it up, do I see anything notable about it?
I mean, not anymore. You hit it with firebolt.
It's a little smoked.
It's you hit it with a thing that can kill people. It's like shooting a rock with a gun. It's gonna leave it different. And this charred it so badly that there was a mark that was just from it hitting the wall when it was thrown, but that mark was light enough that it was knocked off by the charring, is all. So nothing more notable than any other rock other than the fact that it's charred.
Do I see anything on the wall, like any of the walls here at this point that I see what looks like where it could have hit? I'm gonna try to fucking algebra this shit, trigonometry.
If it was thrown from within the room, it doesn't look like it hit anywhere that you can see.
Magdar's gonna get mad.
He's gonna
Magdar's
get
gonna
mad.
start just swinging his hammer at the wall. Like, why are you making noise when there's nobody in here? Start hitting the wall with his
Magdor,
hammer.
what's your passive perception?
13.
13. So the check you made, Tyler, was perfect. It was just not in the right place. Magdor, as he's hitting the wall, realizes that the rock may have been thrown from outside of the room as he looks and sees that exact mark you were looking for in the tunnel leading in. So somebody threw it from out here or somewhere available to throw it, and then it hit the wall and bounced into the chamber.
So let's say hypothetically, paint me a pretty picture. Main room with the open jail door is room A. Room that we thought we heard the sound in was tunnel/room B, and then the room that had a empty chest in it was room C. Could you describe what Magdor is piecing together here?
He is hitting the walls in the tunnel leading to room B where you thought you heard the sound, going, I'm mad that why are you making noise? And while he was hitting the tunnel walls, he saw the mark further down the tunnel where if a rock was thrown, it would have made that and then bounced into the room where you found the rock.
I wouldn't know this, so this is technically Magdor's information. So
No, but that's good. It's good for the theater of the mind. I'm glad that you had me clarify so that it's clear for you and the listeners.
So I've noticed this mark on the wall then, right?
Yeah. And you're like, oh
Is
shit,
it-
the rock was thrown from outside the room, not inside.
Who threw the... I'm still mad, so I'm just getting off. Like, there's a mark from the rock. Who threw the rock when we were here? We heard the sound. Look.
how tall is this cave system?
Nothing crazy. At its highest points, maybe 9-10 feet, maybe, but most of the tunnels are probably 7 feet tall.
So if I were to walk back to Magdor, looking around, including up, I wouldn't see anything that's remarkable.
Well, I mean, you'd see that mark that I just told Nedgar he saw
Well,
as he's charging towards you now, angry.
as a player, I know there's probably a puzzle here. As a character, I'm completely clueless, and I must act out thus. Magdor is algebra facing. Angrily.
Angrily beating the shit out of a wall.
I'm gonna spend this time to I'm gonna start out of desperation. I'm gonna start doing different things at this point. I'm gonna start working on detect magic. It's my first one, so I'm gonna start doing that immediately.
are you gonna do it as a spell or as a ritual?
Let's do it as a spell if I can. Just immediately just cast it so I
Yeah.
can sense any kind of
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, you
Uh,
pop it. There's no magic.
All right, no, I'm. Magdor, there's no magic. You,
I know there's no magic. It's a cave.
you do your MC Hammer thing. I give up. As I also go inside the fucking jail cell, and I close the door on me. Close the door and just lock myself in at this point.
It locks and there's no keys around, so you're now
Fuck!
locked inside the cage.
Magdor, I'm in timeout.
I'm gonna walk back and see him in the cave. Why did you do that?
Because I've been a bad boy. I'm not really a mountain dwarf. I'm just a hill dwarf.
There's nothing wrong with being a hill dwarf.
But we're in a mountain. Glenn, if there's something you want us to do, I don't think we're going to do it.
You guys just like do what you want. Your characters make the choices, man.
Sure.
I'm going to leave you here for now, and I'm going to see if I can figure something out. Wall was here. Well, maybe. Someone threw that rock while we were here. Where did it come from? Now that I have you in the cage, I can talk to you.
I just shift right back into half health for him. Just still wearing like oversized clothing at this point. It looks like a giant leotard on me. If I was Vol, I wouldn't be here. And I certainly wouldn't have thrown a rock, try to distract somebody to go down a tunnel. If it was him, he would have known it was us. We're too fucking loud.
What if he's gagged? Wait a second. I think I have an idea. So I'm gonna walk back to that tunnel, and I know I'm leaving Knox
Where
behind.
you heard the sound?
Yeah. You said the tunnel curved, right?
Yeah, just a little
So I'm-
kind of little elbow.
When
And
he
the
says,
rock-
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would say when he says that he's gagged, I try to cast message inside the cave to reach Vol from inside the jail cell.
It does not reach full.
So, if I'm
start-
painting this in my mind, I walk down the hallway, and then it curves a little bit,
Yes.
right? The rock hit before or after the curve?
It
The mark on the
hit
wall.
like it hit, bounced, and went in the room. You this is not mapped out specifically for a reason. So it's however you want it to look.
Okay.
Specifically.
My reasoning was maybe at the curve I could kind of touch the wall with my hammer,
Mhm.
see if there's any magics.
Well,
Illusion magic.
he just popped detect magic, and there is no magic.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
don't
do
know.
know if the rock was thrown in the way you think it would have been thrown from either this room or the north tunnel. Are the only places that it could have been thrown from. If the impact point was where you found it and it ended up in that other room, it could not have been thrown from anywhere but this room, and you were standing in this room when that happened, or the north tunnel.
No one checked the chest that I set on fire.
Oh, it's burning. You got smoke coming out of there now.
I don't know that
Hopefully-
yet.
Yeah, you do.
Alright, so-
You would see it first since you're actually closer to where the fire is.
Okay, God, thank you.
I'm gonna walk back and say, "Here, I found this. Try it yourself," and then toss him the broken lockpick.
think it might work for one more try.
I look and I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll effectively a sleight of hand check, unless
I'm pretty sure I got
if
two
that's
more
if you're
in.
trained.
I'm not.
Okay.
I gotta use my. I had like 3 of them, I believe. I used one already. I'm gonna use my second. Well, The worst one was a 4, so I got an 8 instead.
Yeah, you feel like this lock has been, for lack of a better term, loosened. And so it wasn't super hard to unlock, but you did.
All right.
I open
now
it.
that you
I'm
know,
debating whether or not to close it again, just to say screw it.
So I think this rock was thrown from the north tunnel.
We're thinking really hard about a single rock, Magdor.
It's the only thing we have. We have nothing else.
Could there be a possibility that he's not even in here?
Then who threw the rock?
And as
But-
you're kind of like talking about this,
but who
you,
has phone?
You feel Krosiv. You feel Krosiv come closer because you can kind of feel him once he's in that, range. He flies into the tunnel and lands on your shoulder, Knox, and says, "Someone outside." In your head.
I'll cast message to Magdor, freezing up at this information, saying, "There's somebody outside."
How do you know?
Rosov said it.
Tall man. Tall man.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Is it Vol?
I'm gonna walk out and I am gonna prepare a firebolt at whoever I see out there as I walk
First
out.
person. It doesn't matter who it is.
Doesn't matter who it is. It could be
So-
Razeth himself coming from a summer stroll. I will cast firebolt on this motherfucker.
Adventurers. Great. Yeah, you kind of cautiously go. Magdor, do you follow or you want to stay there?
I'm gonna take a look at the north tunnel again
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like mumble like, "Still want to know who threw that rock," and then walk away.
Okay. Yeah. You kind of follow then, probably say 10 feet behind as he's got the firebolt, or they've got the firebolt ready to go. And as you come out into the sun, the light of the morning is coming in. And silhouetted against the now rising sun is the figure of a familiar face that you're about to firebolt. And we'll pick it up there next time.
Cool. Awesome.
So Nick's gonna come back and you'll be like, firebolt! We'll say it's like happening as you're like, oh shit, that's Volk.
You can find me on Twitter at 2timestyler. You can find
me
Vol.
at Zigzagoon.
Okay.
Fuck Vol.
Well- Glenn.
You can find me on Twitter at Glenn Houston. 2 N's looks like Huston.
You can find Nick on Twitter at LR the11th. We are a part of Casual Master Quest, a podcast network dedicated to giving you the video game news and tropes you deserve. You can find the show everywhere. You can Google and on Twitter at CMQ Pod or Network. CMQ Network. We will see you next week with another session of Casual Quest Masters, and don't forget to never stop the quest. Bye.